Are you gonna put it back on?
Folks, we are live. The first words you just heard were from April, and we had a generator crash. The generator was not plugged in. It wasn't time to do the normal generator check of the night. So the generator died, and so did everything in existence, essentially. So let's restart the comments. The whole show has been redone, and Vlodder said generator check. Vlodder check. The generator check for the Vlodder checks. The checking checks. The Vlodder checks didn't check the generator. Could check how many Vlodder checks could a generator check? Wow. Yep, Paul did a show Sunday, and it was completely unplugged there that entire Sunday show. All right, and I am going to have to walk up here. Y'all can still hear me. I have got a whole new feed, and I have to go let April out because she don't have a key because we don't trust her with one. Yeah.
I didn't know there was a black one.
Yes, that's a new one.
Get me one?
No.
For Christmas?
No, those are very expensive. Okay, so sorry about that, everybody. We are good to go now, and I hopefully... yeah, that's a good one.
Why would you stop that?
All right, be careful out there in the real world.
All right,
bye. All right, everybody. So we're here. Sorry about all that. That was a bit of a disaster. Yep, all new feed up now. So let me walk back here and see what's going on. Lure crate just got delivered. We're about to go through a best offer crate. Okay. So, all right, here we go. We gotta get everybody back on. I hate when that happens. Yeah, so what I do is every night I unplug the generator because you don't want something charging all the time, right? You don't want something charging constantly. It's bad for the battery life. So I unplug. I don't know if that's true for a generator, but I unplug it, and I unplugged it Saturday. Paul probably cut it on. And then, no, I'm definitely not. We're still definitely going to end at 1:30, if not sooner. I have got two things to do: rest and eat and order vinyl, so we can do this all over again. I know y'all would be here for a long time, so hopefully everybody can find the new feed because I'm about to do this. The Bob Dylan is at 25 with Robert Warner. And thank you, Robert. He has that for 25, going once, going twice. They have Joan Jett or Lita Ford. No, they do not. No Joan Jett, no Lita Ford, unfortunately. Let me check one more thing here. Let me make sure everybody knows that old feed is ended. I got to update some titles here. Edit post. This feed has ended. Part 2 is now live. Okay. And then let me go over here to YouTube. There is the first video. The John Lennon is a Rickenbacker. The John Lennon's a Rickenbacker. Okay. All right, let's go through buy it now, best offer, and then I have a lore crate of new arrivals to go over here. So first thing we have is Bob Dylan's at 27. John Denver, Seasons of the Heart. John Denver is $9.99. Original on a sleeve. Everything in here is buy it now or best offer. We have the DeFranco family featuring Tony DeFranco, Save the Last Dance for Me. That is $19.99. Also, Stevie Wonder, Hotter Than July, $24.99. Everything I'm going through right now is buy it now or best offer. Welcome everybody back. Sorry the feed crashed earlier. My generator died and I'm never going to unplug it again. So there's that. And then let's go ahead and put up Bonnie Raitt. Bonnie Raitt is an 89 Canadian OG. It's a club, BMG Direct and Shrink. Bonnie Raitt is a $15 start. Next thing we have is Con Hunley. I Don't Want to Lose You. Con Hunley is $14.99. Bob Dylan's at $29, now $30. Johnny Horton, I Can't Forget You. Johnny Horton is $9.99. And I Still Believe in Tomorrow, John and Ann Ryder. John and Ann Ryder's in Shrink Wrap, $19.99. Highway 101's Greatest Hits, a 1990 BMG Music Club edition only. Yeah, I've never had that before. Highway 101's Greatest Hits, $19.99. Bob Dylan's at 31. Robert, it goes back to you. Bonnie Raitt has bids for $15 and $15. The next single I have to go up right now is going to be Prince. And we're going to put Prince up right now on purple vinyl for a $7 start. Here's what Prince looks like. Prince is going to go up for a $7 start. It's Purple Rain. And Prince is a $7 start. Romelu does want the Bob Dylan Rickenbacker guitar. And that leaves us with David Gilmour, Randy Rhoads, Queen, Bootsy Collins, Kenny Wayne Shepherd, Stevie Ray Vaughan, and Randy Rhoads again. But this one is sold. Prince is a $7 start. That's now up for bid. Over here is George Jones, If My Heart Had Windows. George Jones is $19.99. Robert's out on, wow, that's a nice George Jones. Robert's out on Bob Dylan, so that's a final call to Patrick Fu for $31. We have the Cookie World of Giesenslaw Brothers. The Giesenslaw Brothers is $9.99. How much is Stevie? Are you talking about the mini guitar? The Stevie Ray Vaughan mini guitar is $39.99. That's the only one I have left right there, $39.99 on that. I cannot get a Prince guitar, or I can't get them immediately. Tim Graham wants David Gilmour, and let's pull that for him, and let's add these over here to our sold pile then. So if y'all just hopped on, you just missed all the mini guitars. We've basically been going through them the last hour. So this is sold over here to Tim Graham. And then over here is Stevie Wonder. Gary, that's $24.99. So we got a John Lennon sold. We got a David Gilmour sold. A black Rickenbacker. A black Stratocaster. Thank you for the water. I definitely could use that. Stevie Wonder was $24.99. No bid yet on Prince. Donna has bid 7. Never mind. Donna has bid 7. But first, I'm going to drink some water. Now we're good to go. Going through a crate of buy it now best offer before we go through this other new arrival sticker from Laura. Gary Wellman got Stevie Wonder for $20. Thank you. And now Bonnie Raitt's at $22. And let's go ahead and sell this Dylan. And that's sold to Patrick Fu for $31. The Prince on purple vinyl has one bid for $7, and we're about to sell it. Not before I put away these sold guitars and we start a new empty crate, because I think by the time we finish this crate and by the time we go through Laura's crate, I bet we can sell a whole nother one. Maybe I can slip in a half-off crate too. That will get some stuff going for sure. Let me move down some stuff here, and just as usual, we're almost done with going through mini guitars, and because we've almost sold them all. Again, we've sold 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. We have sold 20. We've sold 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36. That was our 36th mini guitar we sold tonight. We probably have 10 people on various waiting lists, so pretty good. By the end of the night, we probably have sold 50 mini guitars. Amazing. So Prince is getting new bids. So is Bonnie Raitt. We're going through a buy it now best offer crate. There's Bonnie Raitt. And here's the Forster Sisters Family Faith. The Forster Sisters is $19.99. This is another Warner special products. We got some late 80s, 90s stuff in here. We have the Carpenters, the Singles Collection. That's $9.99. And Roseanne Cash, Somewhere in the Stars. Roseanne is $9.99. Wes Montgomery, Beginnings. Wes Montgomery is a 2 LP, $29.99. Prince is at 11. Our next LP auction is going to go up right now. It's David Bowie, the man who sold the world. David Bowie is a U.S. unofficial. It does have some cover damage up here at the top. This album is heavily bootlegged. OG real copies are extremely rare. David Bowie, the man who sold the world. VG minus condition. It's an unofficial bootleg copy. VG minus condition, VG minus cover, just a $10 start on David Bowie. Next is Stevie Wonder's original Musicarium. Stevie Wonder is $29.99. And this is Frank Sinatra and Duke Ellington, $14.99. Francis Albert Sinatra and Edward Kennedy Ellington, Francis A. and Edward K. David Bowie, Bonnie Raitt, and Prince, all with new bids. We have the Tramps doing Disco, Disco, Disco Inferno. The Tramps, $14.99. Greg Herman on Sinatra. That's sold to Greg. And now I'm definitely going to swap out crates. I took the guitars over there. And I have, I didn't swap out new vinyl crates. So let me do that right now. And this is going to go righty here. And now we're going to have a new crate to fill up. Excellent. Excellent. Looks like Jack's been doing some ABC order over here. That's why, luckily, I have so many empty crates. I'm going to take pictures this week when we're of all the records in alphabetical order. It's always a sight to see after they put all the stuff in alphabetical order. So, you know, stuff that was paid for today, they're still over here right now working on just getting it all sorted. It is crates stacked up all the way up to eye level. There's rows and rows and rows of sold records. Pretty amazing. This is a buy it now best offer. I don't think it's been gone through but maybe once, if not 0 times. Bowie did get an open bid of 20. Do you ever get those 80 Carnival mirrors? I got one back here behind me right now. And we sold a couple last week. And then Wes Montgomery. How much was Wes Montgomery? Wes Montgomery is $29.99. Romelu, I've already sold Frank. BR out, Prince 14, Bowie 15, Bowie 10, West 25, Prince 15. The Tramps is a full album. No, it's a full album. It is $14.99. Prince is at 15. We have an offer on West for 25. We'll see what Donna said. She offered first, and she said she'll take it at full price. Gary Wellman, Stevie Wonder, 22 for original Musicarium. That's sold to Gary Wellman. And now, so the David Bowie bootleg over here, Jennifer Corbin has it for $15. The Prince is at 15 with Jeremy Dalton. 15 with Jeremy Dalton. And now, Bonnie Raitt was a final call after Josh Brown went out to Mary Miles for $30. Next over here is the Carpenters, Close to You. The Carpenters is $9.99. Three Dog Night, American Pastime. Three Dog Nights in shrink wrap, $14.99. The Best of Quincy Jones, that is $17.99. It's called Q, The Best of Quincy Jones. And Harry Belafonte Live, a 2 LP, $19.99. Robert Vlodarchik on the Tramps for $11. Prince is at 16 with Donna. And the Hair soundtrack, the American Tribal Love Rock musical, a quad edition, a quad pressing, $19.99. Mary Miles got the Bonnie Raitt for $30. Now the Prince on purple vinyl, Purple Rain, is at 16. Jeremy's out, final call to Donna. And now the David Bowie is still at 15 with Jennifer Corbin, and I'm about to sell it. The next auction I have for you here is a Kinks bootleg. This is a unofficial 1971 OG. It is songs and B-sides from 67 to 69 that were not on their studio LPs. Nice. So rare tracks from the Kinks. VG Plus, a $15 start on that. Romelu got Quincy Jones for $12. That's sold to Romelu. Next is John Hammond Mirrors. John Hammond's from 1967. It is $34.99. David Bowie has a new bid for $20. Adam Bernardi says close to you for $10. The Carpenters, that's sold to Adam Bernardi. Yes, it was $9.99. Over here is Hot Streets for Chicago. Hot Streets is $9.99. And Peter Frampton, I'm In You. Peter Frampton is $9.99. Prince, Around the World in a Day, an SRC pressing. It is missing the perforated flap. $34.99 on that. Prince is sold to Donna Turner for $16. David Bowie has a new bid for $20. Jennifer Corbin, that's a new bid. And then we have Jimmy Buffett, Living and Dying in 3/4 time. Unfortunately, it is from that Connery collection. Wow, more stuff from Connery's collection still showing up. The reason I say unfortunate is because his name's written on the cover. His name's written on the back of the cover. $14.99 on that. Jennifer's in on both Bowie and the Kinks. And Chad's going to mute his mic for 1 second. Take a drink of purple juice. I got purple juice. I got Waters. I've got Claritin's. We got Chad Davis on PF for Peter Frampton. Thank you on that. Our next single is going to go up for auction now. Oh, let me see what I got over here. I got a whole tub of stuff. Oh my gosh. What do I have over here? I have the Heavy. Dr. Dog. The Heavy. What Makes a Good Man on green vinyl. The Heavy. What Makes a Good Man. That is going to go up for a $7 start. We have RCA, Elvis, February, on stage, 1970. Black RCA label, $19.99. David Bowie's at $30. Final call on the Kinks. Jennifer, you've been outbid on Bowie, but you still have the Kinks, just one bid, $15. Final call on that. Belafonte is $9.99. Mr. Harry again. We got big hits from Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, sung by the New Christy Minstrels. That is $9.99. The Bowie's still getting bids. We got the Eddie Albert album, star of the CBS television network show Green Acres. Green Acres, $9.99 for Eddie Albert. Rycooter, Paradise and Lunch. Rycooter's $19.99. And Joe Walsh recorded live. You can't argue with a sick mind. Joe Walsh is $19.99. Little Feat, Feats Don't Fail Me Now. Little Feat is $24.99. And Jerry Lee Lewis, The Session, recorded in London, $29.99. Susie Breelove on this Chitty Chitty Bang Bang record. The Kinks is sold for one bid for $15 to Jennifer Corbin, sold. Gary Wellman on Rycooter for $15, sold. David Bowie's at $35 with Cynthia Herdren. That's a final call. The Heavy is a bot now for $7 if anybody wants that. We got Doug Kershaw, Spanish Moss. Doug Kershaw is $19.99. Tyrannosaurus Rex, that's the band T-Rex, a 1970 pressing, $39.99. We have Eddie Albert. So Michael, Susie's already bought Chitty. And if you want Eddie Albert, it will be $9.99 because Chuck said he would want it for $9.99. And then here's Carly Simon, Another Passenger for $9.99. Don't forget about Kim Carnes, Romance Dance. Kim is $9.99. And then Night Ranger, Midnight Madness is $26. And Nicolette Larson, Lot of Love promo single, $9.99. So Nicolette Larson and Night Ranger, those are both available. First is Michael Butler. He gets T-Rex for $35. The Bowie's in VG minus condition. This is a bootleg. The original releases of this are very rare. The first UK, this Mercury release, typically about the only common official pressing you can get is the RCA. This is in VG minus. It's at $40 now with Jennifer. Next is He's Gonna Pass. So this is sold to Chuck Haley, a sticker at $9.99. We got Lot of Love, sold to Johnny Silva, and Chris Bryant was second. Now, the next auction, what else do I have over here? I got three more that's been tagged, and the Japanese crate's so buried I hadn't even tried to look at it in a while. There's so much other crates on top of it. But first, we got the Feelies. Now, the last time there was a request for the Feelies, there was a lot of bidding activity. This is the Feelies Away, a 12-inch single promo. It's a 1988 US with promo marked labels, a $5 start. Gary, I've already sold T-Rex. Johnny Silva got Nicolette Larson. Chris was second. Bowie 45. And then Joe Walsh Price. You can't argue with a sick mind. That was $19.99. Joe Walsh live. Now, this was a BINBO crate. That stands for Buy It Now Best Offer, in case you was unfamiliar. We've got a lower crate on deck we're going to go through. And if you lost us in the last feed, sorry, we had a connection drop. Why? Because my generator died. But we're up and running. We're back with 126 people watching. And thanks for tuning in. Sometimes I lose people when that happens. That's why I hate starting a new stream. And I really don't like getting disconnected. But we're back, and welcome everybody. Sorry about that. Had a major generator malfunction. It died on me. I'm back. I don't think I muted my mic. You probably just heard me blow my nose. I apologize for that. That probably sounded horrible. Okay, so we have Joe Walsh at 15, Joe Walsh at 15, and Jim Davis asked first, so we'll give that to him, and Todd Saw was second. Everybody's probably like, what just happened to Chad? All right, the Feelies is a $5 start. Bowie's at 50, and Jennifer's out. I'm here. My ears, I can barely hear out of my ears at this point. Next thing we have is what? Feelies details. The Feelies is an 88 USOG with promo labels, VG Plus condition, and it's a $5 start. Now, here's what's left in this crate. If anybody else wants anything in here, just let me know, okay? We have John Denver, Season of the Heart. We also have the DeFranco family. We have Con Hunley, I Don't Want to Lose You. Johnny Horton, I Can't Forget You. I Still Believe in Tomorrow, John and Ann Ryder. Highway 101's Greatest Hits, that's one I've never had before. George Jones, If My Heart Had Windows. The Cookie World of the Gleensaw Brothers. The Forster Sisters. We have the single 69-73 from the Carpenters. Roseanne Cash. We got Three Dog Night. Belafonte Live, Hair, John Hammond Mirrors, Carpenter's Close to You, Chicago Hot Streets, Prince, Around the World in a Day, Jimmy Buffett, Living and Dining at 3/4 time, Elvis on Stage, Belafonte by Belafonte, Little Feat, Jerry Lee Lewis, Doug Kershaw, Carly Simon, Kim Cards, and Night Ranger, Midnight Madness, Motor Ren, Sister Christian, $26.99. Folks, there they are. All right, David Bowie is sold to Cynthia for $50. This is the Feelies, one bid for $5 with Neil Reigler. We got 64 on YouTube. That means we've got about 60-something on Facebook. I'm showing 129 on both platforms. Not bad for a Monday at 11. Sometimes I've had 300, though, on a Monday at 11. We got Jeremy Dalton on Night Ranger, and Adam Bernardi says Close to You for $7. That is sold to Adam Bernardi. The Feelies has one bid for $5. I'm about to sell it. Now, my question is, why does Todd Saw want to go to bed when we got new arrivals still to show? I think he's just bluffing. We got Groove Denied, and this is Malcolmus something. And this is a 2009 USOG, the front man of Pavement. It's on clear vinyl with insert, and it's billed as Stephen Malcolmus Groove Denied, and that's going to go up for a $15 start. All right, let's go through this new arrivals crate from Laura. I bet we can sell enough out of here to fill up this next crate, and then we'll probably have time for a half-off crate, and as soon as we knock that out, we'll do even more. But first, Chad is really going to mute his mic now because I'm going to take a drink of purple juice. Purple juice. Very good. All right, I got some more autographed albums here. I've got Rex Allen, Rex Allen, Rex Allen, Rex Allen, and Rex Allen, and Rex Allen. These are all from Fred Goodwin's collection. They're not PSA certified, but I will guarantee them. They're all signed by country artist Rex Allen Jr. Rex Allen Jr., that is, not senior. Rex Allen Jr. There are 6 signed Rex Allen Jr. albums here, all autographed, a $15 start. A $15 start. Rex Allen. The Feelies got one bid for $5, and that's sold to Neil Rigler. Thank you, Neil. That's sold to you for $5. And Susie Breedlove wants the DeFranco family. That is sold to Susie Breedlove. Now we have new stuff. 6 autographed Rex Allen albums. A $15 start on those. Oh, there went my knees. That felt very good, actually. All right. Let me move some stuff around. Let's see, what was the last lower crate? There's the last lower crate. Let me move that over here. So actually what we might do is show, yeah, we might condense. After we're done, I'll show what was left in the first crate in case y'all missed it. I'm ready for a great half-off clean-out crate here in a second. All right. I got a lot of signed stuff from Fred still. Holy moly. I kind of walked into our storage room over here where I keep autographs and high-end stuff. And I walked in here last night to start pulling stuff out and researching it so we could do autographs this week, and I just got overwhelmed. I didn't know where to start. They're just stacks and stacks, and there's cards to be matched up, and stacks of signed albums and signed posters. And I was just like, I don't know where, this always happens. I'm like, I don't know where to start. And so I shut the door and turned off the light. Have y'all ever got like overwhelmed trying to go through stuff? I mean, that's why I don't hardly go through auction or autographs. They're just we got so many. It requires so much research, comps and active and asking prices. And we got to match their certificates up. I got to board and bag everything. We got to photograph it. And Laura and Paul and John's covered up, and that kind of just leaves me. And I was like, wow, where do I start? And then I just said, well, I'll do it another day. That's why we have accumulated thousands and we haven't sold that many. Here is the Laura Crate Hop sticker. Here is the Laura Crate Hop sticker. Laura, any kind of notes of inspiration of what we have here before we give that away to the first person? Rex Allen, or a final call for $15. Let's go ahead and make this a buy it now for $15. This is Stephen Malcolmus, Groove the Nine, and this is a 2019 USOG, the front man of Pavement. That's a buy it now for $15. The sticker is Marceline, the Vampire Queen from Adventure Time. There we have it. I wouldn't have known that. So we got an Adventure Time sticker, something new to me. Very cool. Next auction we have is a 65 mono. This is a 65 Terre Haute OG mono copy of the Yardbirds having a rave up. It is in partial shrink. The shrink curves right through here, and it's in VG minus condition. It is an OG mono copy of the Yardbirds, and that's a $15 start. Having a rave up, okay? So what we're going to do is I'm going to show 3 records out of the lower crate. I already know what that one is. I think it's the 4th record, though. It is. I can tell what it is from the top of it. I'm going to show 3 records. The first person to claim a record, one of those records, is going to get this sticker. No putback. So make sure before you claim a record, you actually want it, and maybe not just trying to buy it for the sticker, because it will be yours. This is sold to Craig Thomas for $15. The Malcolmus, any signed Metallica. Adam, the last 2 signed Metallica items I've had have been fake. They've come back bad. Metallica stuff is heavily forged. Heavily forged. The last 2 signed Metallica items I have are bad. So beware. I don't have anything that's passed since I've been doing this, other than stuff I've bought myself from other dealers. So yeah, beware. Always have, I don't mind checking something for somebody, but yeah, just be very careful buying signed Metallica stuff. Make sure it's JSA, PSA, or Beckett. Even if it's sometimes some of these bands, even if it's direct from website or whatever, make sure it's not auto pen or something on that. So here's an Injustice for All that's signed on the back by James and Lars. They're very good looking signatures, but that is bad. That is bad. Those are fake. Those are fake signatures there. But they did a really good job, but they're fake. Yeah, PSA, JSA, or Beckett. If not, I wouldn't touch it. Would not touch it. I seen a signed guitar in Nashville on Marketplace this week. Fake. I seen a signed Ride the Lightning signed by Kurt this week in Nashville on Marketplace. Fake. And then I seen somebody sent me a picture of a photo signed by James. Fake. So two things I seen on Marketplace this week and one photo somebody sent me. All three fake. All bad. So be careful out there. Okay, so we got these Rex Allens are sold to Chad Davis for $15. 6 autographed Rex Allens, $15. Those are sold. And let's do the Laura Crate sticker. Everybody ready? First thing I have is the Murder City Devils, 1997 USOG VG condition, 1999. We have Queen's Sheer Heart Attack, EX 32.99, and we have the English Beat Special Beat Service, a New Wave Ska album, very popular, VG 14.99. So those are all, that's the first three. Those are all available. And over here is the Laura Crate sticker about to go to somebody. Let's not forget about our Japanese pressings. Let's go ahead and get those rolling over here. Next thing I have from the Japanese crate, y'all know it, y'all love it. I get it quite often. They always sell. It's the Wings Over America. Wings Over America. It's a triple LP. There is LP number 1. There's LP number 2. There's LP number 3. It's a triple LP from Paul McCartney and Wings. This also includes some inserts with it. It has a Beatles Forever sale. Wow, I've never seen that with a Wings Over America. And then it has the poster. It has the Japanese book. What else is in here? It has all 3 original inner sleeves. This is going to be a $35 start. There's 1 inner sleeve, there's 2 inner sleeve, and there's 3 inner sleeves. So this one's complete and very nice. Wings Over America with poster, book, and inner sleeves, a $35 start. First is Kelly Vloddercheck on Murder City Devils is sold to Kelly Vloddercheck. Thank you on that. They also get the rare, highly desirable, and now extremely valuable Laura Crate Hop sticker. Craig was second. Michael Rudolph on Queen, and then English Beat sold to Kristen Barnett, then Robert Barnett. Let's keep going. We have, this is the one I knew what it was from the top of it. Pink Floyd, a 2016 VG condition, Saucer Full of Secrets. That is VG for $17.99. We also have the Black Keys El Camino. That is EX $27.99 with CD. EX $27.99 with CD. We have Moving Units Lives or Lives. It is Moving Units and Wives, okay? It's a split 12-inch single, VG plus $9.99, hardcore punk art rock, VG plus $9.99. We got Pink Floyd, sold to Scott Yoakumstaller. The Yardbirds is a 65 US mono in shrink, partial shrink, VG minus, mono OG, a $15 start. Wings does have a bid for $35. Pink Floyd sold, and when Juanita next, there's the Black Keys, there's Moving Unit and Wives. It's a split 12-inch. Jennifer Corbin on the Black Keys, that's sold to Jennifer Corbin. Great stuff in here as usual. Right now we're in check condition stuff like Soundgarden, EX $25.99, a 2016 press, Soundgarden. It is Louder Than Love, a 2016 EX $25.99. Now there's another bid on Wings, and now the Yardbirds has a bid with Michael Rudolph for $15. Michael Rudolph for $15. Let me move some stuff around over here. Let me put this Metallica, let me put this Metallica back over here with the other fake autographs. So, I actually just sorted through what we call our autograph rack over here. We have stuff that's recently been authenticated that we hadn't sold yet or shown. And then on the bottom rack, we have newly discovered autographs. And then on the very end of the rack, we got our most recent fake autographs. Here's another fake autograph, just so you can be aware of bad certificates. So this actually, I think, has a certificate with it. It's got a cheap little hologram and everything. And those aren't too bad, but that's a very fake signed Cheap Trick. But it has a, and it was actually at one point out in a store for sale. And, you know, a lot of people don't understand about certificates, and they just see some sort of certificate and they're like, oh, it's certified. But yeah, that's a actually pretty bad forgery, in my opinion, of Cheap Trick there. But just because it has one of these little doodads on it and it's by some company, that doesn't mean it's real. Just FYI, be careful with that stuff, because that is a very bad fake, and I'm sure at some point somebody bought it and got fooled. Soundgarden is sold to Darren Chrisman. Steven was second. Josh Brown third. And then Yardbirds is at 15. Wings is at 36. Yardbirds is at 20. Next is Mest. Destination Unknown, half white, half black, limited to 750. Mest is VG Plus, $14.99. And Robert Palmer Riptide. This has the hit song Addicted to Love on it. Robert Palmer is EX Condition, $14.99. Also over here, we have Band of Skulls by Default. Default is EX Condition, $17.99. And what do we have here? It's VG $12.99. It's Windmills by The Ocean. The Ocean's a post-rock drone album. VG $12.99. Wings at 40. The Yardbirds is at 20. Michael's out. That is now a final call. Our next auction is going to go up right now. It's a Japanese pressing of Adam and the Ants. Adam and the Ants is King of the Wild Frontier. Adam and the Ants is a Japanese pressing, $35 start. This is a $35 start. There's that. There's that. There's this. And that's a $35 start. Wings at 41. Now, we have FM soundtrack. This is VG Condition, $14.99. FM. Boston, Eagles, Dan Fogelberg, and of course it has that Steely Dan song on it, FM. VG Condition, $14.99. John Cougar self-titled. That's EX, $17.99 for John Cougar. And the Eurythmics Revenge. The Eurythmics is EX, $12.99. And Dolly Parton's Heartbreaker. Dolly is VG Condition, $14.99. So our next Japanese pressing's right there with Adam and the Ants. The Yardbirds is sold for $20 to Chuck Haley. So we're down to two auctions now. Both are both are Japanese pressings, Wings and Adam and the Ants. Let me grab a handful of these singles over here. We might start putting some of these up in lots because we got so many of them. So many kind of new indie type singles, and then I have other stuff over here too. So let's see, let's do St. Vincent. What else do I have over here? We got Ryan Adams, and let's do, I thought there was one more like sealed one here. Yeah, I think it's Brendan Benson. All right, so these are going to go up in a lot, and here's what I have here. I've got Brendan Benson, What Kind of World. I've got Ryan Adams, Baby I Love You, and St. Vincent, and this is Crocodile and Grot, and that's on red vinyl. Those three singles, 45's a $10 start. Wings is at 45. The next thing is Amanda Darby on FM. The FM soundtrack is sold, and Robert Barnett on Black Keys. I think the Black Keys has already been sold. Yeah, the Black Keys sold a while back. The first person on Black Keys was Jennifer Corbin. And then, Robert, you asked the price, but it's already sold. Yeah, she got that immediately. The El Camino album, Jennifer grabbed that immediately. Warrior Scandal featuring Patti Smythe. That's VG Condition, $9.99. Here is the Romantics. Nice, with the hop sticker, Talking in Your Sleep. EX, $17.99. It's in partial shrink. A little bit of a tear there in it, but very cool. It's got a fresh music sticker. That's pretty cool. $17.99. Jim B's in on the three singles at $10. Jim B has those three for $10. Let me move my phone charger around right quick. Give me 1 second. All right, let me plug this up and move this around in 1 second. One quick timeout. All right. Cynthia on the Romantics. GMB has those three singles at 10. Amanda Darby on the Eurythmics. Thank you on that. Next is Pat Benatar Tropico with the hit song We Belong Together. That's EX $14.99. Alana Miles Atlanta Miles, it has the song Black Velvet on it, VG Plus $12.99, and Planet P, EX $12.99 for Planet P. Flashdance soundtrack, that's VG Plus $14.99. First, this Wings album is sold to Stephen A. Young for $45. If you're just hopping on, we are starting, or we have started, a new crate here, some stuff that Laura's marked for us tonight. And then we are probably going to do one half-off crate to try to sell and finish up some amazing cratage tonight. I love cratage. Cratage is meaning we've sold a lot of vinyl. And then we're going to do CDs for about 2 hours almost tonight, at least until 1 a.m., maybe probably 1:30 like we normally do. What are the singles? Brendan Benson, Ryan Adams, and St. Vincent. Brendan Benson is What Kind of World? Ryan Adams, Baby I Love You, and St. Vincent, and that is Crocodile and Grot. The high bids with Jim B, all three of them for 10. I was just about to sell them. The next thing I have is we sold the Romantics, we sold the Eurythmics, and then Kristen Barnett on AM for Atlanta Miles. And then Josh Brown was second on Atlanta Miles. And then Planet Peace sold to Cynthia Herdren. Then Craig Ruth on Atlanta Miles. Then Amanda Darby on Atlanta Miles. And then Chris Kirkley on Atlanta Miles. Nobody bid on Adam Ant. It's a buy it now. Adam Ant is a buy it now for $35 is what I'm trying to say. Adam Ant, King of the Wild Frontier. $35 buy it now on that if anybody wants it. That is showed. And Adam Ant is a buy it now for $35. So let's put that right over here. Next thing I have is Blondie, her self-titled album in VG Plus condition, $17.99. And we have the Cars, that last album with that original classic lineup, EX, $17.99. Right over here, we have Cynthia picking up Adam Ants for $35, and Sid Blair wants to know what I do, $7 for a Romance Dance from the previous crate. Romance Dance from the previous crate. Let me see if I can find that for you. Maybe it's right here. Kim Carnes right here in the front. Yes, and this is sold. Whoops, sorry, I bumped the camera. This is sold to Sid Blair for $7. Amanda second on Adam Ant. And then these three are sold to Jim B for $10. New auctions coming up. I'm going to go ahead and show first Josh Brown on the Cars and Jerry Roch on the Blondie. And now we have... Who is this? Euphone, The Lakewood, an acid jazz album. Wow, acid jazz, EX $12.99. Now we're ready for new auctions. And the next thing I have in the Japanese crate is right here. Mr. Elvis Presley live at Madison Square Garden. It is a Japanese pressing. It does have a little bit of a ding down here on the obi. Just that little crinkle. However, the vinyl's nice, as you would expect from these Japanese pressings. Oh yeah, it's nice. It's got this. Oh, wow. What do we have here? Something I don't think I've seen before with this. An Elvis Presley poster. And somewhere Regina Tabor just fell out of her couch. There he is. Look at that belt buckle. Holy moly. Look at that. Where's that at right now? Wherever it is, it's probably worth a cool 50 G's. There's the insert. There's the gatefold. There is the cover. There's the obi. A $35 start. Back to these, we got the Power Station, members of Duran Duran and Robert Palmer, EX $17.99. The Taylor Brothers from Duran Duran. That's right. And Robert Palmer. Laura has a note on the back. Split ends, true colors. This one always has... the laser etching, yes, laser etched VG $12.99. I don't know if y'all can see that, but look how cool that is. It's got like etchings all over it. Laser etched EX $12.99. CH is a K sound. Jerry Rock. I got you. And then we have Elvis is at 35 and Craig Ruth on Power Station. All right, let's grab another few singles over here. Let's grab from this stack right in here. Let me make a decision on what I want to put up. We got the Surefire Soul Ensemble, Impeach the President. And then we have on the Karma Chief label, She, Forget Me Not and Blow My Mind. And then here is, let's see what this one is. This is John Prine and Kelsey Walden, the Kentucky Sessions. Limited edition white vinyl. Those three singles together for a $12 start. Sealed, new, and sealed. and those are going to go up for a $12 start. Those 3 are being sold together. Next is another new record. We're almost done with the check condition stuff. Joe Bonamassa, Different Shades of Blue. Never seen that one before. 2LP EX 22.99. We also have Playland, the Smiths guitarist, VG Plus 19.99, Johnny Marr, and we have this right here. Let me pause. That was the last check condition record, okay? Elvis is at 35 with Don Nicole. We sold Power Station. Now the singles have a bid for 12, and Mary Miles wants Joe Bonamassa. Chad, I paid my invoice this afternoon. Can I add to that before you ship out to save on shipping? My answer is going to be a very disappointing no, you cannot. The new invoicing cycle has begun. There's no adding. There's no combining. Whatever you've bought and paid for, they're going to ship out. Everything you buy from this point on is a new invoice for $8 shipping. Jerry, I hope you understand, but let me give you a quick answer. If we allowed that, could you imagine what would happen in the shipping department? Nobody would ever want us to ship their orders. They would want to keep buying and adding and redoing invoices, and it would be a complete disaster. So we give 7 days. We give 7 days for unlimited shipping, and then when that's over, it's over, and then it starts a whole new cycle. And that cycle started last night with Paul's sale, and then it starts for the rest of the week. So everything you've already paid for is done, and then now it restarts. If I allowed that, oh my gosh, could you imagine? It would be insane. We've had people try, but the answer is a very polite, I apologize, but no, we can't do that. So Mary got Joe Bonamassa, Stephen A. Young second. Elvis has one bid for $35. Mike Ospaw was third on Joe Bonamassa. The singles have another bid for $12. Another claim for Joe Bonamassa. The singles have another bid for $15. Elvis is at $38. And then we have the singles at $13. Nobody on Johnny Marr. And that was the last check condition record. Now everything in this crate is all EX Plus or better. Okay? I have an oopsie on mine. Who do I contact? Amanda, if you don't have a Facebook, which it looks like you're on YouTube, you can email us through the website, of course. Ed sees that. He worked on this afternoon corrections. Ed will be here all day tomorrow from like, we'll say 8 or 9 o'clock until about 5, and he'll be correcting invoices. Here's the agenda for the rest of the night. Donna is yelling for some CDs. What we're about to do, Donna, I'm going to finish this lower crate. We got one half off crate to do, and then it's CD time. It's that time of night. But right now, we still got new arrivals from Laura, including Revolver, a 2012 pressing, $27.99. The John Prine songs are Kentucky Means Paradise and Paradise. And those 3 singles have a high bid for $15 of Preston Rose. There is a new bid on Elvis for $38. So one of our other big Elvis buyers, Don Nicole, just so you know, you've been outbid on Elvis. Next is Pearl Jam 10, a 2009 reissue. This is Pearl Jam $29.99. Also, Miami Sound Machine Primitive Love. Miami Sound Machine is $14.99. All the sold auctions are gone. No leftovers tonight. We got Uriah Heep Salisbury. Uriah Heep Salisbury is $29.99. And here is Band of Skulls. Love is All You Love. Band of Skulls is $19.99. Now, we have the singles are now at 20. Now, Elvis is at 40. And Stephen Parton got Pearl Jam. Even Flow. That is sold. I have Facebook. Yeah, if you ever have a question about an invoice or a correction, just let me know. And let Ed know, and he comes in. Today, all he basically does is send out invoices. He don't reply anything from last week. Mondays is a weird day. Because if somebody would have messaged us Friday afternoon, let's say like at 5 o'clock, somebody messaged Ed, it's a really bad time because nobody here is answering stuff on Friday nights, Saturdays, Sundays, or on Mondays until invoicing's done. So if you ever have something over the weekend, like if there's a problem that comes up on a Friday or a question, it could be Tuesday afternoon before you get a reply because it's a weird layover time. Ed works for us 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. and he is customer service manager. So if you ever have something on a Friday, I've had some people message us on a Friday, and of course, we try to monitor emergencies. But I've had people message on Friday, then Saturday, we've got a message, hello, is anybody out there? And then Saturday night, hello, is anybody ever going to reply to me? And then Sunday morning, is anybody Coletco going to reply to me? And then Monday morning, I guess nobody wants to reply to me. And then I get on there and I see it for the first time. I see it for the very first time. I'm like, oh my gosh. And I'm like, I'm sorry, Ed's out of the office until Monday, but I'll try to help you right now. But we get so many messages, sometimes we don't see stuff until Monday over the weekend. So always keep in mind, for all of our regulars, if you message us on a Friday, unless like you're really persistent and it keeps popping up on my phone, because what happens is if I get a notification, like since my phone's been in my pocket, I've had 3 Facebook messages. If Tanner or somebody clears that out, it clears it out on my phone too. Like if they clear it off their phone or Paul clears it off on their phone. But we do have a group message, and if there's like a emergency and somebody's like blowing up our messenger, it usually gets sent to the group and everybody's like, hey, we might want to reply to this person immediately. So just so y'all know, over the weekends is kind of a bad time to message us, because sometimes even if I open it up, I don't know how to fix it. Like they'll be like, hey, can you take this off my invoice? And it will be from Monday's invoice and it'll be Friday afternoon. And I'm like, you'll have to wait till maybe Tuesday when Ed's back in working on that. So, all right, just so y'all know how all that works. But yeah, just message us or email us. Elvis is at 47. These 3 singles are with Nick Bargeron for $21. We're going through a new arrivals crate. I don't think anything's sold out of here since Pearl Jam. And Michael Butler won't split ends. All right, great lower crate here. Let's keep going. I always like giving updates on how customer service works. So the best thing is Ed will take care of you, I promise. Patience is a virtue. Ed will take care of you. Porcupine Tree up the downstairs. Porcupine Tree is $54.99. $54.99. And listen, reaching me is near impossible. Y'all know where I'm at 8 hours a day. But if I tried to work on stuff personally for people, it would never get done, and we wouldn't be able to have live sales. So I've always told everybody, please work through Ed. Ed is an extension of Chad, okay? If you're talking to Ed, you're basically talking to me. He handles everything exactly like I would. So just make sure you wait for Ed. The Overton Berry Trio. This is 2 albums in one package. 2 albums in one from the Overton Berry Trio. That is $24.99. We have Adrian Esquada Quesada. This is from the Black Pumas. That's on red vinyl, $17.99. Also, we have Los Robertas, Love is the Answer. Los Robertas comes with a signed postcard. It's sealed on yellow vinyl, $24.99. Elvis is at 48. These 3 singles are sold to Nick Bargeron for $21. Now, he said out. What happened? Chris Frazier bid $22. Excuse me, these are sold to Chris Frazier for $22. $22. Chris Kirkley on the Black Pumas record, Adrian Quesada. Thank you, Chris Kirkley. That's so do you. Better reach me. Yeah. I tell everybody, y'all know where I'm at 8 hours a night. The other time I'm here working. And if I try to get back there and start working on orders, I'd probably make more mistakes and cause more problems. So I just say, let Ed handle it. And I'm a very hard man to reach. You can talk to me right here, but we're here to sell. We have Greg Dooley, A Ghost. Lost Straitjackets, I Feel Fine. Beatles versus the Stones. That's an interesting one. And this is who? Dole Bramble II, Be Here Now. Those 3 sealed records for a $10 start. How about a $12 start? Elvis is at 50 with the poster. We have Wilco, A Ghost is Born. Wilco's a 2011. That's $34.99. Abbey Road, a 2012 reissue, $27.99 for Abbey Road. Pearl Jam Yield. Pearl Jam's a 2016. That is $32.99. We have Noel Gallagher's High Flying Birds, sealed on pink vinyl. We could possibly bundle the Noel Gallagher 12-inch. There are 5 at $19.99. So we got Noel Gallagher, Noel Gallagher, Noel Gallagher, Noel Gallagher, Noel Gallagher, and Blue Oyster Cult Fire of an Unknown Origin, $24.99. And this looks like a music on vinyl pressing. It is. Elvis is at $50 of Don Nicole. Tim Graham, you're out. These three singles are a $12 start. That's Greg Dulli or Dooley, D-U-L-L-I. Got to Catch a Dollar, Dooley. I don't think that's the same thing. And then Lost Straitjackets, I Feel Fine, some sort of Beatles deal there. And then Doyle Bramble, those are a $12 start. Josh Bargeron, I combined both names. How about Josh Brown got Pearl Jam, Yield. Nick Bargeron was second. That was a great lower crate. Brian Call on Bluest to Coal, I'm Burning for You. Great hit song on there. Thank you, Brian. And then Jerry next on BOC. And we have a final call on Elvis since he went out, $50. Let's read through these one more time. Let's try to get a bunch more of these sold. And then guess what? We're going to do a half-off crate probably to wrap up vinyl for tonight. So hope everybody's ready. More Japanese coming at you. And the next Japanese pressing I have is going to be what? I have no idea. What do I have over here? This is unfortunate. The cover's faded, but it's a great one. It's Eye of the Tiger Survivor. The cover's faded though. Let me check the vinyl. I can tell it's been like color washed. Yeah, that's how it's supposed to look. It's set out in the sun for a long time. Make sure you don't have a record laying in the window of your house for like 20 years. That's what will happen. Oh, the vinyl's beautiful, though. So instead of a typical probably $35 start, it has the Rocky Obi. Let's put this up for just a $15 start. And let's go ahead and board and bag Elvis. And Elvis is sold to Don Nicole for $50. And I have another Elvis over here as well. So thanks, everybody, for spending your Monday night with us. We've got great records ahead. I'm going to make sure the half-off crate we do is pretty good. Either going to be a great John classic rock type crate, probably. All kinds of great titles. We'll blow those out. And there's Eye of the Tiger. The singles are at 10 and now 12. Let's go ahead and get started with Moving Units and Wives. Started with the recap, that is. Moving Units and Wives is a split 12-inch single, VG plus $9.99. Mess, Destination Unknown, that's white and black split, VG plus $14.99. Robert Palmer Riptide, EX Condition, $14.99. Robert Palmer Riptide. Band of Skulls by Default. Default's in EX Condition, $17.99. And then over here, we have Windmills by the Ocean. Windmills by the Ocean is VG, $12.99. Survivors at $15. Survivors at $15. The new bid on the singles are at $13. Brian Call, you've been outbid. Cynthia Herdron got Messed. She put Meat. I bet she meant Messed. John Cougar self-titled EX $17.99. Dolly Parton, Dolly Heartbreaker. That is VG $14.99. Scandal featuring Patti Smythe, VG $9.99. Craig Ruth wants to Robert Palmer Riptide. Addicted to Love. That's so to Craig Ruth. And then over here, our next auction, I have another Beatles. Did we sell this one earlier? No, we had a Beatle. We had an Elvis earlier, a compilation. Not this one, though. This is called Special 24. It is a compilation. The vinyl is A-OK, as you would expect. It has the lyric book. The warden threw a party in the county jail. The prison band was there, and they began to wail. That is the opening lyrics to Jailhouse Rock. Great compilation. Return to Cinder. Nice. Special 24, a $35 start. Now, we have the Survivor at 16 and 17, and Jim B has the singles at 15. So, or Brian Call has them for 15. I think we might be confused on 45s and Survivor. Survivor's at 17. Yeah, Survivor's at 17. Brian, you have these at 15. I think you might be seeing the other bids as well. That's S for Survivor, I'm pretty sure. Y'all be sure to let me know, Survivor and 45s over there. Next thing is Pat Benatar Tropico, EX $14.99. Flashdance is VG Plus $14.99. We had ePhone or Uphone, E-U-P-H-O-N-E, the Lakewood. That's what I'm trying to read right there. And then EX $12.99. So yeah, Brian has these three singles at 15. You're against Jim B on these. And then Chad and Jeremy are bidding on Survivor. Jeremy has it for 17. Chad Davis, you're out. It is a nice copy. The cover has been color washed. It's been sun bleached. The cover's been sun bleached. Jim B's done, so final call to Brian Call then. We have Playland, which is an album by Johnny Marr, the Smiths guitarist. VG plus $19.99. Cynthia wants Euphone. That's so to Cynthia. And then the Beatles Revolver, a classic, $27.99. Love You Too. I love these songs right here. I Want to Tell You. Let's see. Taxman. Eleanor Rigby, I'm Only Sleeping. One of my favorites. I love that song. She Said, She Said. And then For No One and I Want to Tell You, those are some of my favorites there. 27 to like, not only favorites off that album, but some of my favorites Beatles songs. I'm Only Sleeping. Amazing. I love those two other ones I mentioned as well. Next is Primitive Love, Miami Sound Machine. Do the congas on here. Laura, I didn't even show that the first time. Laura made a note. Do the congas on there. $14.99 for Primitive Sound. Uriah Heep Salisbury is $29.99. And over here we have Band of Skulls. Band of Skulls, Love Is All You Love. That is $19.99. And then Porcupine Tree, Down the Upstairs, a 2008 2LP, $54.99. These three singles are sold to Brian Call for $15. Thank you. Final call on Elvis for $35, no bid. They're still bidding on Survivor. Rising Up, Back in the Street. The Overton Berry Trio as Seattle's. That is $24.99. Also, we have Los Robertas, Love is the Answer. That is sealed, $24.99 with signed postcard. Cynthia Herdron on BOS. And that was Band of Skulls. That's so to Cynthia Herdron. And we also have Wilco, A Ghost is Born. Wilco is $34.99. Then we got Abbey Road. Don't forget about this, $27.99. I Want You, She's So Heavy. Some say it's the first ever heavy metal song. No joke. Here Comes the Sun, You Never Give Me Your Money. Chris Riddings on Los Robertas. That's so to Chris Riddings. Over here, we got the No Gallagher. Well, where's Sean Fairweather at? He's obviously asleep. But what Laura was saying is we got 5 No Gallagher singles here. No Gallagher from Oasis. And they're single EPs. They're all on colored vinyl, maybe except one. They're all different, too. They're all different, and they're $19.99 each. No Gallagher singles. Revolver is a reissue, yes. Survivor 21, and then Pat Benatar is OG. Yeah, the Benatar is an OG album. Well, let me just say it's not new. That's probably OG, yeah. That should be the OG label for that. All right, now, Elvis is a buy it now for $35. We actually do have 3 no bids tonight. Let me show those. They weren't tagged auctions. They were actually singles. And then I'm going to try to sell these. Let's do the half off, and then let's do a big CD run. The half off crate will be fast. The lower crates take longer because I got to read all the details. Her and Paul do a lot of extensive research. They usually look up stuff that requires Discogs research. Nobody on that great Elvis comp for $35? Surely. And if not, that's going to be our only no bid tonight. John marked stuff that requires almost no research, and that's why when I go through a John crate, I can fly through it because there's typically not much pressing details because a lot of it's stuff he knows and I know. I can look at the label and take a quick look at the matrix and the barcodes and just tell you what it is off the top of my head. So that's why these crates are always longer to go through. But yes, Revolver is a reissue. It's going to be 180 gram. It's going to be a stereo mix from 2012. Yeah, $27.99. And Jerry said he will take Pat Benatar. Now, Chad's out on the Survivor. Let's go ahead and sell that to Jeremy Dalton for $21. And let me show you these 3 no bids, and let's grab this half off crate. Boy, I wish I had time to show y'all all the waiting list from tonight. We had 3 crates of new vinyl, and everything left is just like 2 or 3 records. Abbey Road, Tony, the Abbey Road, as soon as I sneeze, sorry. Yes, it is $27.99. Here Comes the Sun, Come Together, Something in the Way She Moves. Wow. Right here is where it just starts getting really good. You Never Give Me Your Money. That all blends together from here. Everybody's listened to this, right? I want to make sure everybody has listened to side 2 of Abbey Road. Here Comes the Sun. We all know that one. And then Because. And then from like right here on, it kind of all blends together. It's like one big song, especially from right here down. But I think it really starts right here with You Never Give Me Your Money. And then it all bleeds together into just one big epic thing. And there it is. Sold. Especially right there. She kept Polythene Pam. She came in through the bathroom window. It's called the Beatles Melody. They pretty much, that's why if you're ever listening to it on a CD all chopped up, if you put this in on a CD and put it on shuffle, it wouldn't it wouldn't sound right. It's all made to be listened together. It's truly a album concept there. Golden Slumbers. Wow. I played that for several of my friends that have been shy on the Beatles, and when they hear that, they're like, okay, I'm in. Like, what else can you show me, Chad? My friend Moose was never big on the Beatles until I played him this right here. And we were here just all one night listening to vinyl, and of course I play stuff so loud, like I crank it. And when you're listening to all that just for the first time, it's like something you'll remember. It's like, whoa. She's So Heavy. Oh, yeah. I Want You. Oh, Darling's on here. Come Together. This is why it sold millions of copies, and they're making these every day still. And every generation is going to discover this album for many, many years to come. And they're going to keep buying it and keep buying it. It's a masterpiece. Very hard to replicate something like that ever again. There's a lot of albums like that, but especially that one right there. That is a true, like, you just had to have been there. All right, I'm going to mute my mic for 1 second. Paul's vocals. Sorry, I had to blow my nose. Paul's vocals, one more thing. I'll get off my Beatles kicks, but Paul McCartney's voice is in an all-time peak right here. 69, 70, his first solo stuff, but man, his vocals on She Came In Through the Bathroom Window and Golden Slumbers, that's peak Paul McCartney vocals. His range, incredible. Absolutely incredible. All right, so let's see what we got going on over here. We got St. Vincent for $10. We got Dylan, Mark Ronson for $5, and the Heavy is $7. Let's find that half-off crate. Let's find that half-off crate, and let's do it. Let's do it. Sorry, I've had big stuff there. Chad, my first real loud Zeppelin song was Wonton Songs of Friends House. Blew me away. Oh, yeah. Dun da 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 da. Dun dun da 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 da. Plant. All right, let's see what's going on over here. Give me 1 second. I'm going to have to pick out a great half-off crate here. Let's see here. Let's do this. Okay. All right, so I got a huge backlog of crates over here. It's also really hot in this store. It's kind of bothering me. I don't think it's helping my allergies, honestly. Let me push some stuff out of the way here. CD people's probably like, tick-tock, Chad, you said 11:30. I did, but I also didn't think our generator was going to die. I'm going to blame it on that. I'll make it worth your time. It looks like it's half of a paw crate. Should we do this one? I don't know really what's in here. Let me take a quick peek. Let me see what's underneath this. I might take a couple crates and randomize them. Like mix in. Oh man, that's a great. Let me take an empty crate. Let me randomize some stuff. Let me just grab this one. Let's just go through this. We'll save a lot of time if I just say let's go through it. So we're going to do a half off crate here. No more, no less. If I can get over here to it. Ouch. I'm kind of cramped over here. And then, all right, here we go. So we're going to go through a vintage crate here, half off. Let's put up some more singles while we're doing it right quick. And then what else do we have? Or me, Miss Mustard, Polythene Pam. You should have seen Polythene Pam. She was so good looking. What was the St. Vincent? Craig says 45 is $15. So is that including the St. Vincent? Kristen, this is St. Vincent Peta Sparrow. It's called Peta Sparrow. It's a record store day. And then the Dylan and the Heavy. Now, Craig said he would give $15 for them. If you don't want it, I'm going to sell these 3 to Craig for $15. Okay? And the store, no, we have air in here. It's running full blast. It's just not turned down. It's not turned down low enough. Our electric bill last month was, I think, $1,400, and then or $1,700. $1,400 or $1,700 for our electric bill here. Very expensive. Keep this place cool. But at this point, I say I do not care. I was like, if y'all want it freezing cold, crank it up. If y'all want it burning hot in the winter, crank it up. I don't want unhappy employees. Y'all, we'll spend $2,000 on electric bill if we'd have to. Crank it up. That's the last thing I want is everybody sweating and uncomfortable. First thing we have here is Connor Obrist. We have Gob Iron Waterloo. And we have the District's Ordinary Day. Those 3 singles for a $12 start. Those 3 singles for a $12 start. Okay, and then Craig, I'm assuming you did want all these. Then those are sold to you for $12, right? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Maybe he was, well, he said 15, right? Yeah, you did want all 3 of these, right, Craig? Because that was 7.5. That's 12, and I do not mind bundling all those for 15. Okay, and there's that. Let's go through half off stuff quickly. Half off, no more, no less. And right off the bat, I can tell from the top of it, it's a classic album. Carole King's Tapestry. Carole King, boy, why is the cover so dusty? The cover's really dusty. Let me see if I can get that cleaned off. Looks like it's almost like, yeah, well, the cover needs to be cleaned. See right here? But either way, there's no condition notes on the vinyl. Let me take a peek at it. $12.50. I'm distracted by the first record. There's nothing really wrong with it. It looks like the cover needs cleaning, but yeah. Oh, it's a German press too. It's a German pressing of Carole King's Tapestry. $12.50. A classic. Next thing we have is The Good Things in Life, Tony Bennett. Tony Bennett is $5. This is a half off crate, no more, no less. The Best of B.B. King, $12.50. If y'all like buying these kind of records, I have a whole tub, which is a lot, and then I have one of those full white boxes full of singles like this. We're going to sell them all week. We're going to have singles up for bid. You just got to remind me. We'll keep them rolling. Renaissance is $5. John Durden on Tony Bennett. Gary Wellman on Carole King. Let's make a note to try to clean this jacket a little bit. Just a little bit of a light moisture and try to wipe that down for Gary. Thank you, Gary. That's so to you. We have nice Cream Wheels of Fire, no condition notes. Cream just $17.50 in the white room with black curtains. Ladysmith Black Mambazo, that is just $7.50. Mary Miles on Renaissance. Folks, I told you, we're off to a great start. The Brothers Johnson, look out for number 1, just $7.50 on the Brothers Johnson. Julie London, whatever Julie wants. Wow. She's got a bunch of, oh my gosh, look at those $500 bills. Oh my gosh. There's a whole stack there of $500 bills. Those are extremely valuable. I know they're worth at least $500, but they're worth a lot more than that. I've never seen like that many together like that. That's amazing. And then all those old hundreds and stuff, all that gold jewelry. That was an expensive photo shoot. That's real money there. Holy moly. Who funded all that? That's Julie London for $10. It's got an old price tag on the back here, the original price tag, $2.98. So the next thing we had was we sold Tony Bennett, we sold Carole King, we sold Renaissance, Stephen Parton first on Cream, Mary Miles on Ladysmith Black Mambazo, Kristen Barnett was second, Gary Wellman on Brothers Johnson, Donna Turner next on Brothers Johnson, William A. P.M. on Julie London, and then Ken Roney next on Wheels of Fire, and then George Burleson next on Ladysmith, and Stephen next on Cream. The only thing that hadn't sold is B.B. King, and he's $12.50, and these 3 singles are sold to Craig Thomas for $12. We got Hot Chocolate going through the motions. Hot Chocolate is $10. Also, the Rolling Stones Dirty Work, that is $17.50. We got Bob Seger Smoking OPs, a German Palladium pressing, just $20. The great Bob Seger covers album, $20 on that. Next is Nat King Cole Sings the Great Songs, $5. And the Moody Blues Octave, $7.50. $7.50. Next thing I have are 3 more singles. Let's see what else I grab out of here, which ones I'm willing to bundle. There might be some I set aside and we might do individually. First, here's the Black Keys with Jew Kimbrough. Wow, Johnny Marr. Marr, I Feel You. Johnny Marr, I Feel You. And then Ryan Adams, Come Pick Me Up. Those 3 singles going to go up for a $12 start. Those new cost $8 and $8, $24 new. They're still new, $12 start, half price. We have The Man and His Music. That's another Nat King Cole, $10 on that. We're in a half off crate, no more, no less. The Johnny Marr has a little bit of a tear here in the shrink. Just FYI, it does have a little bit of a tear there in the shrink. Those are new and sealed. The Best of King Curtis, nice. On Atco, no condition notes, just $15. The Best of King Curtis, that's clean. The singles have a bid for $12. The singles have another bid for $12. Frank Sinatra, September of My Year. Sinatra is $7.50. We also have 10 Years After, Alvin Lee and Company. 10 Years After is $10. The Best of Wes Montgomery, nice. No condition notes, gatefold on Verve, just $10. Next is Gary Wellman on KC, and that was for King Curtis. Thank you, Gary Wellman. That's so do you. What about Steve Winwood, his self-titled solo album? $10 on Steve Winwood. Famous football songs of the Southwest Conference. You get Texas and A&M and Texas Tech and Rice and Baylor. That's $10. And you get the Ames Brothers, a Living Stereo title. The Blend and the Beat. The Ames Brothers is $5. Donna on Wes. Next was William. Then Romelu C. And Chad says, never mind on HC. Chad said, never mind on HC. Chad said, never mind on HC. Chad Davis, HC. Chad, what was never mind on HC? You might have to help me out there. John Durden on the football marches. That's so to John Durden. Dustin, I'm assuming you don't want to bid more than 12. You tied Craig. I'm about to sell them to him. An Evening with Groucho. Groucho Marx, comedy album, $15 on that. And then nice. Gary Wright, the Dreamweaver album. Love is Alive. Can't Find the Judge. Let It Out's a great song. Of course, Dreamweaver's on here. $10. Now Jim B's in at 13. Never mind. There's a new bidder at 13. The Fabulous Thunderbird, What's the Word? With Jimmy Vaughn. Stevie Ray's brother. That's a gold stamp promo, $10. Perez Parado, another Living Stereo, $5 on that. That is Perez Parado. Living Stereo LSP 1556. Gary Wellman on Groucho Marx. That's sold to Gary Wellman. Chad says hot chocolate. Your claim never did come in for hot chocolate. So you said never mind, but your original claim on hot chocolate never did come in because I never did pull it. It's still in here. If anybody bought anything right in here, there might have been a glitch. No one got hot chocolate. No one got the Rolling Stones. Nobody got Bob Seger. Nobody got the Moody Blues or the Nat King Coles. Next is Sticks, pieces of 8. It's just $10. Jerry Rock on GR. That's for Gary Wright, spelt with a W. And then Adam was next, and George Burleson on Perez Parado. So Craig's out on the singles. I never did hear back from anybody else. Jim B 13, so we'll sell them to Jim B for $13. Jim B, those are sold to you. So next thing we have is this crate is full. I'm swapping crates right quick. I got to swap some crates right quick. It's been since the middle of May since I think we've gone through this crate. I can tell because there's great titles, and I know I hadn't picked anything out of here from any flip videos or anything. So these are all good to go. Hadn't gone through them in a while. The next thing over here is we sold Perez Jerry Rock on Sticks. That was for pieces of 8, is that right here. And then Sid Blair on the Ames Brothers. And then Buddy Cordova next on Sticks, then Donna Handshoemaker. The Rolling Stones album, Mike, is Dirty Work, and it's now $17.50. It has the original on her sleeve, no condition notes. Maniac on the Steve Winwood, and then Nat King Cole first one, and the $5 one, and Sticks. Greg, you missed out on Sticks, but I will give you the 5 Nat King Cole. All right, and then over here, Alonzo says he wants to pay for the John Durden football album. Alonzo says he wants to pay for your John Durden football album. So we have a gift-giving session going on right then. And we have the Indy and the blah, blah, blah. Whoop, blah. Yep. This is the Indianapolis 500 Great Moments Van Camp's Pork and Beans promo record. That is now $10. Mike Ospaw on the Rolling Stones. Next is Roots of Rock and Roll Fairway Records Presents. That is $10. And we got Old Town Doo-Wop. We got a 40-track doo-wop box set here, and the price is $13.50. So Alonzo wants to pay for John Durden's record, the football album. He says, bill me, but send it to John. We got 1 single coming up. We got 2 singles coming up. And let's grab a 3rd single here that appears to be new, and these are going to go up for a $12 start. We got the Wild Feathers, Got It Wrong, Marie. We got John Paul White, The Martyr. And we got Jack White, I'm Shaking, and Blues on 2 Trees. Those 3 singles for a $12 start. Donna on the doo-wop box. The doo-wop box sold to Donna. Also, we have the Sunny Side of Cher. Cher is $10. We're going through a half-off crate, by the way. Carly Simon, Boys in the Trees, $5 on Carly. Melanie, Stone Ground Words. Melanie is $5. Craig has the singles for $12. Flashdance, we had a VG Plus copy earlier. No condition notes on this, $10. Now the singles have another bid for $12. Bo Diddley, go. It is a original Chess Masters reissue from the 80s, but a near mint copy in shrink wrap for just $15. Next is David V. Put Coo Woo. I bet he meant Do Wop. If not, then let me know, because that would have made you 3rd. And then Adam Bernardi on Flash Dance. That is sold to Adam Bernardi. Now the singles are at $13. Here is Olivia Newton-John's Greatest Hits. That's $5. Phantom Canuck on Melanie. Claymore wants the Bob Seger over here. That is sold to Claymore. Now the singles are at $15. And here's the Essex. Easier said than done. The Essex is this $10. Craig Ruth on Flash Dance. That is sold to Craig Ruth. Did I already sell it? Oh, yeah, I already sold Adam Bernardi, my bad. And then El Chicano. El Chicano is $12.50. That is on the MCA label, just $12.50 on that. But just join us, we're in a half-off crate, no more, no less. Tommy Edwards' Greatest Hits, that's in shrink, $10. Now the singles are at $16. Also, we have Exposure. Exposé's $10. And Greg Bendinger on Olivia Newton-John. Jerry Rock, you were second on that. give me 1 second before I do anything else, is here, and we have, it was doo-wop. Okay, Michael Butler on Diddley, so we sold doo-wop, and now the Diddley is sold to Michael Butler. We have Peaches and Herbs Greatest Hits. That is $7.50, and those 3 singles are a final call to Kristen Barnett, and that's a final call for $16. The next thing I have is the Jones Sisters, Singin' We Go. The Jones Sisters is $5, and Country My Way by Nancy Sinatra. And Nancy is in the original baggie that it came with, reprise tricolor steamboat label, $17.50 for Nancy. How about Simon & Garfunkel Collected Works? This is a 5 LP, pretty much everything from Simon & Garfunkel, $5 a disc. The box does have some wear and tear. It does have some writing. For some reason, people wrote 5,000 next to each one of these words, but that is now just $25, $5 per disc. Doesn't seem bad to me. Amanda Darby on Expose. These 3 singles are sold to Kristen Barnett for $16. How about we grab a few more from over here? I feel like I'm about to sneeze. I did. And now we have what? We got the Blind Boys of Alabama featuring Bella Fleck. We got Spanish Gold, Out on the Street. And we got Connor Oberst, Standing on the Outside Looking In, and Sugar Street. Those 3 singles are going to go up for how much? A $12 start. Next is Romy Lucy on the Collected Works of Simon & Garfunkel. We also have in the half-off bin what? Another Bob Seger, this time a live album, one of the greatest. That's now just $12.50. Craig Stephen A. Young on Blind, and Blind was for, oh, the Blind Boys. Those are up for bid. Sorry, and then we have Nazareth, Malice in Wonderland. That is $10. Craig got his bid in first at $12. Van Morrison, A Sense of Wonder. Van Morrison is $17.50. Adam Minardi picking up that great Bob Seger live album. Thank you, Adam. We got Melanie for $5. Garden in the City. Melanie is $5. Also, the Screaming Blue Messiahs, Gun Shy, that is $10. And Shrink Wrap, Linda Ronstadt's $5, Living in the USA. And the Moody Blues, Caught Live plus 5, the Moody Blues is $10. So, Stephen, you are out on those singles, just so you know. All right. Sorry. Got a lot of health problems tonight. Ken Roning on Van Morrison, Jerry Rock on Nas, and then the singles are at $15. We have a Phantom Canuck on Melanie, and that is sold right here to Phantom Canuck. And then, Greg, did I get Olivia Newton-John? The Olivia Newton-John was sold to Greg Beddinger, yes. I'm assuming I pulled that. Yes, I did. And then Gary Wellman on the Moody Blues. Now the singles are at $16. All right, let's read through what's left one more time. This is a half-off crate. No more, no less. Quick read-through right here. Now the singles are at $20. And the first thing I have in here is what? Was I not first on Bob Seger? Bob Seger was sold to Adam Bernardi. He put BS for Seger. And then you were second with Bob Seger. He was first. And then the Essex details. The Essex is going to go up right here. Right here. Adam Bernardi. The Essex is on the roulette label. It's called Easier Said Than Done. No condition notes, just $10. One I don't see as often. Over here, I got the best of B.B. King. $12.50. MCA Records. Final call on the single. Stephen A. Young has them for $20. Hot Chocolate, Going Through the Motions. Hot Chocolate is $10, Going Through the Motions. Also, the Moody Blues Octave, $7.50 on the Moody Blues Octave. We proudly dedicate this album to the man and his music, Nat King Cole. It's a 2 LP compilation. Actually, I think it has like this fold-out type cover. Yeah, Nat King is $10. Mary Miles on B.B. King. That is sold to Mary Miles. We have Frank Sinatra, September of My Years. $7.50 on Frank Sinatra. 10 Years After, Alvin Lee and Company. Alvin Lee is $10. The Fabulous Thunderbirds. And we have a gold stamp promo of What's the Word, the Fabulous Thunderbirds, $10. So Susie's in on hot chocolate, and then Robbie Lou on Nat, and that was for the Nat King Cole. And now we have Stephen A. Young on the Sinatra. We might end up selling everything in here. These 3 singles are sold to Stephen A. Young for $20. Let's put up some more. But first, here's the great moments from the Indianapolis 500. I said $10 on that. 500 winners, there they are. Very cool. It's a Van Camp pork and beans promotional record. Pork and beans. Now, over here we have the Essex sold to Adam Bernardi. And we also have Fairway Records presents The Roots of Rock and Roll, $10 on that. The Sunny Side of Cher, this is Cher, How Pretty She Is. There is on the Imperial label, $10 on Cher. I always thought Sonny outkicked his coverage. We got Carly Simon, Boys in the Trees. Carly Simon is $5. El Chicano was $12.50. Adam Bernardi on the Fabulous Thunderbirds. That is sold to Adam Bernardi. Tommy Edwards, Greatest Hits. It's in shrink, $10. Make sure the Indianapolis 500 record goes in for $10 to Stephen A. Young. Thank you, Stephen. That's sold to you for $10. And now, let's grab 3 more singles right quick. Now we're starting to exponentially go through them. They've been over here for a couple nights, and then boom, 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 pop, pop, pop. They're all sold. We have, this one looks cool. Leon Russell with Elton John. And then we have Unleash the Sunbird. And we have Z-Avy, the book of Morris Johnson, Milestone Moon, live from the solar-powered plastic plant. And those 3 singles are going to go up for a $12 start. $12 start on that. Romelu C on Cher. That is sold to Romelu C. Cher is sold. And then over here we have what? We have a few tracks on Rock and Roll. The Rock and Roll has John Lee Hooker. It has the Moon Glows. It has Bo Diddley. It has B.B. King. It has Tutti Frutti, Little Richard, the Flamingos, Little Walter, Ivory Joe Hunter, Ruth Brown, Chuck Berry, the Five Keys, Jesse Belvin. And that is now $10. $10, 2 LP. David V on El Chicano and Tommy. El Chicano and Tommy Edwards, both sold to David V. Where did the Houndmouth single go? Houndmouth single. I'm not for sure. Is that something you saw in one of the handfuls I have? Jim B's already tracking down his next house payment. Next thing, we have Bill Keenum on Leon. So all 3 of these are being sold together for a $12 start. Next is Peaches and Herbs, Greatest Hits. Does this one have Close Your Eyes? That's a great song. Close Your Eyes, Peaches and Herb, $7.50. Susie on Roots of Rock and Roll. That's sold to Susie Breedlove. I've got the Jones Sisters, Singing We Go. The Jones Sisters is $5. Nancy Sinatra, $17.50. We got the Screaming Blue Samaya, the Screaming Blue Messiahs, Gunshy, Electric Records, Shrink, Direct Metal Mastering, $10. And Linda Ronstadt, $5, Living in the USA. Next is Stephen Parton, second on Roots. Susie got that one. Anybody else before I offer these for a bundle deal? Also, final opportunity to get a bid on these before I sell them and make them a buy it now. Man, y'all got me wanting to go through another half-off crate. Should we? Should we go to CDs? There's probably going to be an intense argument in the comments after that question. First of all, though, I'm going to drink some water. Hopefully try to... I need to splash some in my face is what I need to do. Now, one of the biggest CD buyers, Adam Bernardi, just said more half off. These 3 singles are sold to Bill Keenum for $12. Let's see if I can find something that said Hound's Mouth on it. Something that Jim B got a whiff of. He's like a hound dog. He got a whiff of something. He said Houndstooth? Hound's Mouth? I don't even know where you've seen that at. Here's the next 3. Michael Kinwanka, Dr. Dog, and how about Rich Robinson here from the Black Crowes? legendary guitarist version of Velvet Underground's classic. Wow, so he's covering Velvet Underground there. Dr. Dog, Michael Kiwanuka, Dr. Dog, and Rich Robertson, $12 start on those. All right, so we got let's try to go through one more. We're not time restricted tonight. I think we can, let me try to find a short but sweet half-off crate. Let's bundle these. Here's the rule. I'm only going to do another half-off crate if we can sell what's left in here in a bundle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 records there, $45. If someone says bundle sold, 8 records, $45, bundle sold, I'll grab another one quickly. We'll fly through it just like that one. That took no time at all. Susie has those 3 singles for $12. But we got to do bundle sold, and I'll try to find a half crate, and we'll fly through it. We got to sue the bundle here. Bundle sold. That's what I'm looking for. I'm going to put it on a 60-second timer. If not, then we're going to CDs. It's up to however many, how many total people we got watching. Both platforms right now, we got 151 watching on both platforms. David V, thank you. So David V got this for $45. Bundle sold. That's everything from Linda to Moody Blues. All right, those are done. Let's do one half-off crate right there. For some reason, all of a sudden, vinyl tonight has took off in the second half of the show. I've been like, yeah, we're going to start CDs early tonight. As soon as I said that, everybody wakes up, joins the chat, and now they're ready to buy vinyl all of a sudden. I'm like, holy moly, what's going on? Here's like a half of a crate. It's check condition stuff. Let's go through it half off, no more, no less, and let's get them all sold. It's a half a crate. I can do this in about 5 minutes, and then I'm going to literally run to the back, get CDs. I'm going to flip over a crate, and we're going to start reading them off as fast as I can. It could get pretty crazy. Here is a check condition being half off. The Jaggers, we went to different schools together. VG condition, $5. Blues Image, red, white, and Blues Image, EX, $9. Blood, Sweat, and Tears, Brand New Day, VG, $5. We got Navy Blue by Diane Renee. That's VG plus $7.50. Rita Coolidge, Greatest Hits, no condition notes, $5. Hall & Oates, Pastime Behind, no condition notes, $10. Jan and Dean, Dead Man's Curve, Jan and Dean is $5. Over here, we got 10cc Bloody Tourist, it's $10. These singles are sold to Susie Breedlove for $14. Those are sold to Susie for $14. The next 3 I have over here are what? I have 1, 2. I have 3 from Nick Lowe. I got Nick Lowe and Dave Edmonds sing the Everly Brothers. I got Bowie, B-O-W-I, Nick Lowe, and Nick Lowe Halfway to Paradise. And that's on yellow vinyl. This Nick Lowe's on yellow vinyl, and I think this Nick Lowe's black on the Stiff Records label. Those 3 Nick Lowe singles, a $10 start. We got Mary Miles on Blood, Sweat, and Tears. We got first Chuck Haley on the Jaguars. Don Nicole on JD for Jan and Dean. And now Bill Keenan was second. Next over here is Focus 3, die-cut window cover. That's now $15. Ada Bernardi on 10cc, half off LPs, no more, no less. We got the Dregs, Unsung Heroes, $5. Those 3 singles have a bid for $10. Mad Dog, John Entwistle's Ox, John Entwistle, $10. Marshall Tucker Band, $12.50, Where We All Belong. MTB's $12.50. The Haywoods, Bo Donaldson and the Haywoods, that's $5. Someone Special, the Orleans album, there it is, folks. Sorry for the nudity, but there they are. They are bare-chested, and they're just $5. Focus 3 is sold back here to Gary Wellman. Final call on those 3 singles. Michael Butler has them for $10. We got Hall & Oates, Along the Red Ledge. Hall & Oates is $10. Johnny Winter, Before the Storm. Johnny Winter's now $17.50. That's one I don't see as often. Before the Storm on Janus Records. Next is Michael Butler on Marshall Tucker Band. That is sold to Michael Butler. Jim Ciascio on the Dregs for just $5. Thank you, Jim, as always, and everybody else for tuning in late tonight. Today is tomorrow, the 4 Freshmen. 4 Freshmen is just $5. Also, FM Live, the Climax Blues Band, Gatefold 2 LP, no condition notes, $15. Ada Bernardi on Hall & Oates. That's sold to Adam Bernardi. We got Rita Coolidge, Anytime, Anywhere, $5. We got the Barry Goldberg Reunion, $10. We got Boz Scaggs, $10. Down to then left, and Resident Alien by Robert Harriman. I was about to say, that doesn't sound right. $5 on that. Next is Stephen A. Young on Climax Blues Band, sold. And then these 3 singles are sold to Michael Butler for $10. And then we have Price on Entwistle, $10. Jim Ciascio on FM. And FM was for Jim, your FM comment was for that was for Climax Blues Band. You were second. Mary Miles on Boz Scaggs, sold. Gary Wellman, I've already sold that. And now we have Bill Keenum on Ox. Adam wants the other Hall & Oates, okay? So no Hall & Oates on here. He wants this Hall & Oates. That's sold to Adam Bernardi. So Climax Blues Band was, in fact, sold to Stephen A. Young. Jim Ciascio was next. Mary Miles got Boz Scaggs. Gary was second. And then Bill Keenum. Let me know what O is. I bet he was trying to get Boz. And then we got Neil Diamond, Touching You, Touching Me. That's $6.50. George Burleson on John Entwistle, the bass player from The Who. That's sold to George Burleson. Mahavishnu Orchestra does $10. Birds of Fire. Focus. In and Out of Focus. Focus is $7.50. John Mayall, USA Union. $13.50 on John Mayall. Textured cover, gatefold polydor, no condition notes. And The Eyes of the Beacon Street Union. That is now just $10. The Eyes of the Beacon Street Union. Let's try to run at least one more quick singles auction right quick. And what do I have here? I got Jeepster, Monolith. We got Holy Man, Dennis Wilson, Taylor Hawkins, Brian May, and Roger Taylor. Wow. Dennis Wilson, Taylor Hawkins, Brian May, and Roger Taylor. And here's Houndmouth, California Voodoo Part 2. I don't know if that's what Jim saw or not, but that's 3 good-looking singles there, $12. Hall & Oates, I think, is actually one of their original studio albums. Yeah, this is one of their original studio albums here. $10 on that. 1976, an earlier one. And then Mary Miles on John Mayall, Michael Butler second, and Gary Wellman got Focus. Doing a half-off crate here, no more, no less. We got Edward Bear. That is now $5. Those singles are a $12 start. How about the Soul of Blues Harmonica by Shaky Horton? $10 on that. And then Adam Bernardi on Pastimes Behind. That's sold to Adam Bernardi. Next thing we have is Psychedelic Lollipop by Blues Magoos. An original Mercury label, clean for just $20. It was $39.99. George Burleson on Mahavishnu Orchestra. That's sold to George Burleson. Thunderclap Newman, Hollywood Dream. $12.50 on Thunderclap Newman. Next thing we have here is what? Michael Nesmith, that's Nevada Fighter. You may know him from the Monkees. $12.50 for Michael Nesmith. Hall & Oates and Shrinking Hot. Big Bad Boom is $10. And Fresh Air 3. Fresh Air 3 is $7.50. The singles are Jeepster and Monolith. It's Chad Smith and Josh Kinglenhofer. Jeepster, Monolith, a record store day. And then here is Holy Man, another record store day. And this is Dennis Wilson, Taylor Hawkins, Brian May, and Roger Taylor. And then this is Houndmouth, California Voodoo Part 2. And those are all sealed, and it's a $12 start. Next is No, You Called Entwistle Ox, and I called and I claimed it. Oh, Bill Keenum was trying to get the Entwistle record. Okay, you were still second on it. You were still second on it. George Burleson said price on Entwistle, and then your comment came in for Ox, and then he said sold. So you were still second on it, though. George asked the price before your Ox came in. You were talking about Entwistle, but somebody actually have beat you to it. He was actually ahead of you on it. He was ahead of you anyway. That was Mad Dog, John Entwistle's Ox. That's what Bill was trying to claim, but George Burleson had already asked what was the price on it. All right, anybody else in that half-off bin? Anybody else? If not, we're going to read through them one more time, and we're going to try to bundle them. Blues Image, $9. Diane Renee was $7.50. Over here was Greatest Hits of Rita Coolidge for $5. The Haywoods was $5. Orleans was $5. Johnny Winter was $17.50. Here was the Four Freshmen for $5. Rita Coolidge is $5. Next thing over here is Barry Goldberg for $10. Shaky Pressing, 45's Jeepster. Robert Harriman, Resident Alien, $5. Neil Diamond is $6.50. Neil Diamond, $6.50. Also, I think I've lost Facebook for a second. Let me go ahead and pull up my feed. It just said I got disconnected there for a second. So let me open this up and see what happened. Give me 1 second here. Dang it. Why did we lose Facebook over here and this here? So first thing is Neil Diamond info. Greg Beddinger, Neil Diamond. Neil Diamond is $6.50. It's on the Uni label, $6.50 on that. Next thing is the Eyes of the Beacon Street Union, $10 on that. Edward Bear was $5. 45's Jeepster. This is Jeepster Monolith. Chad Smith and Josh Kingenhofer. Also over here we have Holy Man, Dennis Wilson, Taker Hollins, Brian May, Roger Taylor, and Houndmouth. Those three are still sealed for $12. And then the Soul of Blues Harmonica. $10, the Soul Blues Harmonica. Somebody wants to know the pressing. The pressing is an original Chess Masters pressing. That's about as much information as I can give you. An original Chess Masters pressing from the early 80s. It is near mint minus $10. We never did get disconnected. If I ever say I've lost Facebook, that means we're still streaming. Y'all can hear me. That means I just lost y'all's comments. If I ever say I've lost, that means y'all can comment all you want, but I still can't see you. Neil Diamond is sold to Greg Beddinger. That is sold. And then we have Psychedelic Lollipop for $20. We got Michael Nesmith for $12.50. We got Hall & Oates for $10. And now Fresh Air is $7.50. And that was Manaheim Steamroller. And now I can see y'all. You were invisible there for a second. Y'all could hear me. You could hear what I was showing. But you could have commented there for about 60 minutes, for about 60 seconds, and it would have been completely invisible. It would have never made it to me. Luke, if you don't want harmonica, Michael Butler does. It is going to be sold to him for $10 unless you want it. Craig got these three singles for $12. That is sold. Let's offer this as a bundle deal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. There's 16 records in there. I'm going to offer it as a bundle price to somebody. If not, you may see those in the discount bin in the morning. $75 for everything that's left. That is little over $4.50 a piece. $75 for everything that's left. Fresh Air, Hall & Oates, Michael Nesmith. Psychedelic Lollipop that was marked $39.99 and wasn't a bad price. Edward Bear, Beacon Street Union, Robert Harriman, Barry Goldberg, Rita Coolidge, Four Freshmen, Johnny Winter, Orleans, Bo Donaldson, the Haywoods, Rita Coolidge, Diane Renee, and Blues Image. While I'm in the back grabbing the first CD box, that will be up to y'all. Hopefully someone says sold. I'll crate them. I'll blow the air horn, and we can say we've officially filled up, I guess, 7, 8 crates of new vinyl tonight. Holy moly. But at this moment, that concludes vinyl for tonight. That's it. Let's go through some amazing CDs. I'm going to go ahead and get a stack going for some information. What am I trying to say? I'm going to go through... Hold on a second. This is sold to Michael Butler. He gets the Shaky Horton. I'm going to start a CD box. I'm going to clear off a path over here so we can start stacking CDs because, folks, we're about to stack a bunch of CDs over here. A bunch of CDs. A whole bunch of CDs. I'm going to move these Iron Maiden books over here that we already sold last week. I'm going to move them on this cart, because we're about to stack a bunch of CDs. A bunch of CDs. Hey, we're not on a time limit tonight. You never know. I might go to 2:30, 3:30, 4:30, 5:30, 6:30, 7:30, 8:30 more. 9:30, 10:30, 11:30, 4. You never know about me. I've been known to do wild and crazy stuff. You should have seen me in high school. Oh my gosh. Some of the crazy stuff I've did, I'll never even tell people about it. They'll be like, holy moly, Chad did what? He did what? He stayed out till 11? Holy moly, Chad. Looks like they've been back here digging in my corner. Paul. Now I can't get to my stuff over here. There's boxes of CDs. There's tubs. There's this. There's that. Let's grab some of these. Oh, we have stuff. Let's grab. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I just totally scraped up my arm. That's okay. I'm willing to get injured for this business. I'm willing to take risks for my health. I'm willing to do dangerous stuff just to bring y'all CDs. I have put my life on the line before just for CDs. Like, I've made decisions in my life for CDs that could be risky to one's life. Where, like, if something would have went long, no more, and I would have been here. Nobody on the bundle. Are y'all sure? Final call, $75. I'm going to move them right over here. I'm out of breath, okay? There's this. No less on the bundle. Well, the way I see it, they were already half off. I just discounted them even further. If you can get really, really close to $75, I'll consider it. If not, I'll just have to pass because they'll go in a flip crate this week. I'll mix them in a flip crate and we'll get more than that for them. But I'd rather sell them all right now. Hope everybody's ready. First thing coming at you right now, these are all $6.99. No more, no less. We have Elvis, recorded live at Madison Square Garden, $6.99. We got Elvis, the alternative Aloha. Elvis Presley, Holding Back the Years. Elvis, Today. Queensryche, self-titled. Queensryche, The Warning. Queen, Innuendo. Quarter Flash, self-titled. Rat, Dancing Undercover. Rat, Detonator. Rat, Dancing Undercover. I said the wrong title on this one. That's Rat, Reaching for the Sky. And then Kevin Raleigh, this is Delusions of Grandeur. Those are all $6.99. Chris says, I asked for Magoo. All right, Magoo, Blues Magoo. This is sold to Michael Butler for $20. That is sold to Michael Butler for $20. Now, Avery, if you want the bundle now for $60, I'll sell it to you. But Blues Magoo's has been pulled out. I was at $75. I've pulled that out. So now I'll take $60 for the bundle. However, Blues Magoo's has been pulled out. Now, the next thing we have is Greg Herman on Queen. Now, that's probably for Queensryche. Now, Greg, you'll have to let me know if you want Queensryche self-titled, Queensryche The Warning, or Queen Innuendo. Your dibs on those. You got Queensryche or Queen. Robert Warner wants Queensryche self-titled. Chad Davis on E for Elvis. So, Chad, you got dibs on 1, 2, 3, 4 Elvis Presley CDs. And Buddy Cordova wants Queensryche first. You're third in line. Jerry said both. You'll have to let me know what you're talking about. And then we have Susie wants all the Elvis. And then Chris Reddings on Kevin R. And that was Kevin Riley. So our first official thing here is right here. This is Kevin Raleigh sold to Chris Reddings. That's the first official claim. The next official claim was Greg Herman. He wanted Queen. He wanted Queensryche. He did not want Queensryche. He wants Queen Innuendo. So that's sold to Greg Herman. That means the next person is Robert Warner. He gets Queensryche self-titled. The next person is Jerry Rock on Queensryche. He wanted both. So that means that one is sold to Jerry Rock. And then the next thing on my feed was Chad Davis, E for Elvis. And he's going to get all 5 of them. All Elvis CDs are sold. That just leaves Rat Dancing Undercover, Rat Detonator, Rat Reach for the Sky, and Quarter Flash. That's the only ones that didn't sell there. And then Avery 7001 does want the bundle deal for $60. So I'm going to put sticky notes around these. These are, in fact, sold to Avery. He's also picking up locally. We took out the Blues Magoo's and sold that to Michael Butler for $20. And now he's going to get everything that's left. And now that officially closes out vinyl tonight. Thank you, Avery. I'm crating those up right now. And that completely emptied out that last bin. And now everything gets sold. Make sure if you're on Facebook, you tune into our videos every morning. I do a 6 a.m. new vinyl flip. I do a 9 a.m. Vintage discount flip. And probably at noon tomorrow, I'm going to do a video with all the leftovers from the Laura crate. Wow, this box is off to a hot start, right? Let's keep this momentum going with more $6.99ers. I've never seen this one before. Quiet Right, Winners Take All. We have Mother's Army, Fire on the Moon. How about Alanis Morissette Unplugged, Ghost Stamp promo? Holy moly, that's autographed. So is this one. And then we got Yngwie Malmsteen's Eclipse. I got Madonna True Blue, Madonna Bedtime Stories. I've got Madonna Erotica. That looks nasty. And we got Madonna Beautiful Stranger. Those are all $6.99. First thing is Mike Ospaw on Quiet Right. That's sold to him. Stephen Parton on Alanis Morissette. Mary Miles was second. And then Jim B. That was also a gold stamp promo. That left Yngwie Malmsteen, Mother's Army, Madonna, 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 Madonna. Wow, Madonna. There she is. Next handful is coming at you right now. And this is, oh my gosh, it's Mad who? Margaret, Cold Sweat. Mad Margaret. That is $6.99. Looks almost like it's homemade. Is this appropriate for adults? What in the world? And then we got Michael Stanley Band. Michael Stanley Band. We got Billy Joel, Rivers of Dreams. How about Jewel, Gold Stamp promo. Jewel, Pieces of You. And Howard Jones, Dream into Action. These are all $6.99. First is Chris Riddings. And Chris Riddings was first on Madonna. Chris Riddings was first on Madonna. Chris, you got dibs on those 4 Madonnas. Jim B next on MM. MM was for the Mad Margaret. Looks like it's a valuable CD. He said, never mind. He must have looked it up on Discogs and said, you know what, I'll need to pass. And then Chris said also pass. I guess they looked it up and found out it was an adult listening pleasure. Next is Clay Moore on Yngwie Malmsteen, and that is sold and sold. And that's what's left there. So I guess he didn't want Madonna. And he didn't want the Mad Margaret. And Susie wants all the jewels. Jewel sold to Susie. Susie gets the other jewel. These are all $6.99. So now what's left? We got Madonna, 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 the Nasty record, Mother's Army, Michael Stanley, Billy Joel, and Howard Jones. That's what's left in that stack. These are all $6.99. Here's what's coming up in the next stack. We got Billy Joel, An Innocent Man. Olivia Newton-John, Back with a Heart. There's the Elton John, Candle in the Wind, Princess Diana tribute. Elton John's Greatest Hits Volume 3. Journey, When You Love a Woman. We got Journey self-titled. That's a great one. Journey Stage, Journey. Looks like a bootleg. Joey C. Jones and the Glory Hounds. And Kodo with Aso Tomita, Nazca Family. Those are all $6.99. We're also going to go ahead and pull these right here. The Best of Kodo. We have Kicks Blow My Fuse. We got Paul Lane and Paul Lane. Next thing we have over here is Joey Readings on Joey. Now, did he mean Joey or did he mean Journey? So we had Billy Joel, Olivia Newton-John. We had Elton John. We had Elton John Journey, Journey, and he meant Joey C. Jones. And then Chris Readings on Kicks. Kicks is sold to Chris Frazier, and then that also left Paul Lane and Paul Lane. So all those are still available. Next handful, we're going to grab 3 from here, we're going to grab 4 from there, and then we're going to grab 3 from here. And here is what's next. Lenny Kravitz, Can't Get You Off My Mind. These are all $6.99. Laugh Syndicate, Phone Jacking, Actual Calls. Cyndi Lauper, Hey Now, Girls Just Want to Have Fun. Some sort of single promo. Sinead O'Connor, Sealed. It does have a crack in the jewel case. Nuno, Schizophonic. Ted Nugent, Cat Scratch Fever. Ted Nugent, Spirit of the Wild, Gold Stamp promo. This is Candidia, Tony Orlando and Dawn in a slipcase. The Best of Tony Orlando and Dawn. And we have Only Child. These are $6.99. So Chris Frazier got Kicks, Buddy Cordova second on Kicks, and Jerry Rock first on Kicks. Kicks is long gone, unfortunately. All those are still available as well. Let's go ahead and go on to another handful. Next handful is coming at you right now. Hope everybody's highly prepared, because the first thing I have is REO Speedwagon, High Infidelity. I also have REO Speedwagon, Wheels Are Turning. I also have Red Hot Chili Pepper, Blood Sugar Sex Magic. I've got Queens Rock Empire. I have Quiet Ride, Alive and Well, 1999, all original members. Looks like some sort of bootleg. How about Queens Rock Operation Mindcrime? Also, we have Queens Rock I Am, and Queen Live at Wembley 86, a double pack. Wow, that looks pretty cool. Now, Chad Davis was first to Ted Nugent. We're still selling stuff from the last stack. Now, Chad, there's 2 Ted Nugents. There's Spirit of the Wild, and there's Cat Scratch Fever. You got dibs on either one. Now there's all those. And now I'm going to take a breather and make sure we don't miss anything. Make sure everybody's paying really close attention to what's happening here. We are absolutely flying through some CDs. Hope everybody's got really locked into what's going on here. First thing we have is what? Let me click on this right quick and see what's happening over here. All right. Okay, so Chad has dibs on Ted Nugent. Hadn't heard back from him. Buddy's next. And then Greg Herman put QUE. Now, Greg Herman, that's for either Queen or Queens Rock or Queens Rock, or for Queens Rock or for Queens Rock. So your dibs on those. Greg has dibs. QUE for Queen or Queens Rock. And then next is Jerry Rock on Queen. And then Jerry Rock on MC. And then Jerry Rock on Queens Rock again. And then he said both. And then Chad Davis wants Cat Scratch Fever. So Chad Davis gets Ted Nugent, Cat Scratch Fever. Greg Herman first on Queen Live at Wembley. So, Jerry, your MC comment was for who? And then over here, there is still a Ted Nugent left, but Buddy Cordova wanted Cat Scratch Fever. So I'm assuming nobody wanted that. Now, the way I understand here is, give me 1 second before I go any further, though. I don't know what MC was for, and then Jerry, there's actually 3 Queens Rock there. So it's your dibs on those. Okay, there's IMI, there's Operation Mindcrime, and Empire. So that's why I was just saying there is 3 of those. And then Angela wants Only Child. Okay, and Only Child is somewhere in here. Only Child, Only Child, Only Child, Only Child, Only Child, Only Child's right here. All right, and then this is sold to Angela Lewis. And then Mike Ospaw said, I'll take the other Ted. And then Buddy said, I'll take the other Ted. And then Jerry wants all 3 Queens Rock. All right, we're ready for a new stack. Moving right along. Let me go ahead and set some of this stuff back here to give me a little bit more. There's a lot of great leftover titles tonight. Holy moly. A lot of great. When I start the show in the morning, all this unsold stuff is going to sell just like it did earlier. So if you're thinking, think long and you'll think wrong. Next is REO Speedwagon, 9 lives. REO Speedwagon 2, Mr. Big, Bump Ahead. Mr. Big, Lean Into It. Get Over It, Mr. Big. Wow, Motley Crue with Ticket Stub. Wow, Motley Crue Dr. Feelgood. Wow, Motley Crue Saints of Los Angeles. Wow, Motley Crue Theater of Pain. Wow, Yngwie Malmsteen, Seventh Sign. Wow, Yngwie Malmsteen, Fire and Ice. Holy moly. That was a great stack right there. I wouldn't be surprised if all those sell. And then we're going to go ahead and show no more. We're going to just see who gets these. First thing is Chris Frazier on MC. That's got to be for Motley Crue. So you've got dibs all of a sudden on 1, 2, 3, 4 Motley Crues. Chris Frazier, you have dibs. Then John Durden, then Adam Bernardi, then Jim B. And then over here, Mike Ospaw says, get over it. And he wasn't, I think he was actually trying to say he's not telling somebody to get over it. He's saying he wants to buy Mr. Big Get Over It, which is actually a Japanese pressing. It's a Japanese pressing. That's sold to Mike Ospaw. Thank you. Uh-oh. Mike, that felt funny. Isn't that weird? I picked that up and it felt funny. And that's the disc. Is that how it's supposed to look? If not, let me know. That just felt funny when I picked it up. First one I've checked tonight, and it has that kind of disc in it. So I'm going to tag you unless you say otherwise. Buddy Cordova wants Ario High Infidelity, and he got 9 lives. There's High Infidelity from the last stack. There's 9 lives from this stack. Those are sold to Buddy Cordova. And then Chad Davis was next on Motley Crue. And Chris Frazier just wants Girls, Girls, Girls. So that's sold to Chris Frazier. Just Girls, Girls, Girls. The next stack is John Darden. John, you got dibs on those last 3 Motley Crues. Let me know if you want all or one or any of them. And then next is Mike Ospaw said pass. So let's put back that Mr. Big. I don't know if it's supposed to look like that or not. Maybe somebody can discogs it. I don't think it is, though. It felt funny. It felt light, and that's weird that I was able to pick up on that. That shows you how many CDs I've picked up in the last couple of weeks. And then John Durden passed on the rest. That means Motley Crue. That means Adam Bernardi, you're next on those 3 Motley Crues. Let me know. And then that leaves Ario Speedwagon, Mr. Big, and this Mr. Big here. Now, it actually says Mr. Big, get over it on the disc, but somebody might have made a copy or something. So, Angela, your pick, bump ahead, lean into it, or the other one. We still got Ario, and we still got Ingve and Ingve. Let's go ahead and grab. I usually go through this first box, and then I'll start trying to grab the other ones. Okay? Next thing is Ingve Malmsteen Inspiration, Ingve Malmsteen Collection. Here is the Freddie Jackson story. Also, Iron Maiden, a real dead one. Wow. How about Iron Maiden, a real live one? Wow. Wow. Jamiroquai, Iron Maiden CDs for $6.99. Are you kidding me? Mick Jagger solo album. Wow. Jackal Choice Cuts. Wow. Also, we have Summer in the City by Joe Jackson. Also, we have Jerusalem Slim, and we have the Jerky Boys, too. Holy moly on those. Goodness gracious. So, another pass on Motley Crue. That means the next person is Jim B. Jim B, you're next on Motley Crue. Jim B, you're next on Motley Crue. So now Jim B has dibs on the Motley Crue. We'll keep going down the list. Everybody just wanted that ticket stub, which is probably worth like $25. That's everybody was trying to buy it for $6.99. I'm practically giving stuff away right now. These are practically free. Freddie Jackson is going to Donna Turner. She got one. I feel better now. Iron Maidens, Greg Herman, you have dibs. And then next is Jim B, then Buddy Cordova, then Clay Moore. Greg Herman was first, and he says he wants both. That was quick. And then over here, we got Chris Riddings on Jerusalem. Jerusalem Slim, that is sold to Chris Riddings. That's sold. And then over here, Jim B just wanted the ticket stub so he could sell it on eBay for $25. Buddy, you were third on Iron Maidens, actually. Actually, you were fourth. And then, so that's another pass on Motley Crue. Also, Angela hasn't let me know on Mr. Big either. And now Motley Crue's, the next person in line was Chad Davis. Now, Chad, you have dibs on the Motley Crues. And then over here, we have Ingve Malmsteen, Jamiroquai, Mick Jagger, Jackal, Joe Jackson, and the Jerky Boys. Boy, I can't believe a lot of those didn't get claimed either, but we'll go ahead and do this next stack. What is in the next stack here? We have a Jerky Boys Volume 1. Also, Jim Jameson, When Love Comes to Town. Another one, Jesse's Power Trip. Another one. We got Jet Boy, Feel the Shake, and Jesus Jones right here, right now. Wow, a lot of stuff in there left unclaimed. We'll see what happens. Chad Davis has dibs on those 3 Motley Crues, going back down the line to him. Next is Clay Moore on Jackal. Clay Moore on Jackal. Jackal sold to Clay Moore. Angela on JS. Angela on JS. She passes on all the Mr. Bigs. Her JS comment was for JS. She's going to have to let me know. JS. 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 JS, Jerky Boys, Jim Jameson, Jesse's Power Trip, and Jet Boy. We'll go ahead and give Mike Ospaw Jet Boy. Jet Boy is sold to Mike Ospaw. And then Chad wants to know which Motley Crues are left. Theater of Pain, Saints of Los Angeles, and Dr. Feelgood. And then there's still 2 more people, I think, after you. Motley Crue Regina wants Theater of Pain. We're still working our way down. I got to go get a box. I got to start going through jazz for Donna. Otherwise, she's going to show up and shoot me. I don't want Donna to shoot me. She's here to buy jazz and R&B. She has no interest in rock. She wants jazz and R&B, folks. Donna's going to show up and shoot me. Next is what? Jet. Angela's pending on about 5 things right now. We'll make sure she's good and awake. She's fallen asleep in Sunday school. She said she's out here trying to buy bare-chested men and then it's causing her to fall asleep in Sunday school. Hopefully in Sunday school, Angela, you're not thinking about the bare-chested men. Chad's going to go get some new boxes. Hopefully you don't have images of Brett Michael going through your head in Sunday school when you're trying to teach the little youngins. Please don't tell them about poison in Sunday school. Nobody needs to see a bare-chested Brett Michael in church. Pastor might have something to say. He might have, Angela, what are you doing teaching these kids about bare-chested Brett Michaels? Angela, how dare you? A little different kind of Sunday school with Angela. All right. Now, let's figure out what happened. The first thing is about 3 minutes ago, Chad Davis said which ones are left, and he didn't say anything about Motley Crue. So Regina Tabor gets Theater of Pain. That is sold to Regina Tabor. She gets Theater of Pain. Next thing is what? Back in the first act, there was a Mother's Army, I Would Like It Please. Mother's Army, first act, right here, Fire on the Moon. This is sold to Angela Lewis, okay? And then we have here and here. Here we go, and here we go, and here we go. Angela's daydreaming in Sunday school, thinking about bare-chested, leather pants, oily chest. Okay, moving right along. Let's do one hand out of this box. Holy moly. What do we have here? I don't know. Let's just start going through them. First thing I have is what? I've got Patti LaBelle Flame. Oh my gosh, it's what? It's Paul Lane with a Celine Dion ticket stub. Interesting. $6.99. Next thing I have is Real McCoy, Come and Get Your Love. We got Mariah Carey. That's number ones. Hey, get into some Donna Turner stuff here. Whitney, The Greatest Hits, a promo. Wow, Will Smith, Big Willie style. What about Janet Jackson's Rhythm Nation? What about, who is this? Timbaland and Magoo. Whoa. Also, we have Missy, Misdemeanor Elliott. Whoa. We got Father and Son, Gerald Levitt and Eddie Leverett Sr. Whoa. And then we got Brandy, a Gold Stamp promo. Holy moly. Might have hit a little bit of an R&B section here. What have we got? We got Chris Riddings on Lane with the ticket stub. That is sold to Chris Riddings. Next is John Durden on RM. He says pass on MC. Okay, Chad, your comments are very, 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 very delayed. Chris got Paul Lane. And then next is John Durden on RM. That was Real McCoy, right, John Durden? And then Stephen Parton on JJ. That was Janet Jackson. And then Donna got the Timbarimblin. The what? The who? This right here. That is sold to Donna Turner. And then we have Donna Turner on Missy. Missy's right here, sold to Donna Turner. And then Donna Turner on Leverett, sold to Donna Turner. And then Chad to put M for Mariah Carey. And then that's sold. And that just left Patti LaBelle, Whitney Houston's Greatest Hits, Will Smith, and Brandy. And now we have a crazy full stack of sold CDs. And I'm going to move these over here to the operations room before there is an absolute catastrophe and they fall over and y'all hear CDs hit the floor and it sounds like this. Wow. Holy moly, what a stack of compact discs that is. Did I show y'all the picture earlier of all the ones sold just from one night? What it looks like after one night when we're doing this for a lengthy time? Goodness gracious. All right, so here we go. Let's grab another handful of that. I think this box, we might just continue to knock these out. Here we go. What's next here? We got nice Samantha Fox. I want to have some fun. We also have Marvin is 60, a tribute album, tribute to Marvin Gaye. Who do we have here? PM Dawn, G Street Volume 2. PM Dawn, I think that's the artist. Kool and the Gang, and JT Taylor. State of Affairs, a gold stamp promo. Macy Gray on How Life Is. And we have Ricky Dillard, No Limit. Here is Prince with Angie Stone. Interesting. Never seen anything like that. Boys to Men, that's their big album. The Greatest Romance Ever Told, Prince again, and Babyface for the Cool and You. These are all $6.99. John Durden on SF, Samantha Fox, so did John Durden. Donna on PM Dawn, that is right here, so did Donna. She also got Cool. She also got Macy. She also has dibs on Prince. There's Prince and there's Prince. Donna has dibs. Jim B is second. Donna also got Boys to Men. And now Stephen was next and Donna got Babyface. Holy moly. We still got Ricky Dillard and we still got Marvin tribute album. Some of the tributes are done by Erykah Badu, El DeBarge, Kenny Lanamore's on here. That looks pretty cool. And she wants both Prince. Goodness gracious. What kind of interconnection do you have? She's hooked up to one of those nuclear reactors over there. First thing is another handful. She also gets the Marvin Gaye tribute. Goodness gracious. She's claiming them before I can read them off. We have Chick Corea's electric band, Paint the World. Next over here is Unruly Child. It's called UC Unruly Child 3. Also is Ricky Rocket, Glitter for Your Soul. There's old Ricky Rocket. Another Prince, artist formerly known as Prince, Chaos and Disorder. Michael Penn, MP4, Sealed. This is an empty case. Trash. AC/DC, Who Made Who. AC/DC, we have There Is Love, the wedding songs. Nice. How about Rob Thomas, Something to Be? No disc. I thought that felt light. Cher, and then Yanni. No disc. I'm pretty good at picking these up. I can be an expert CD weigher. All you got to do is put it in my hand and I'll say yes CD, no CD. Next thing I have over here is Ada Bernardi on Chick Corea, so to Ada Bernardi. Mike Ospaw on Unruly Child. Then Ada Bernardi on Chick Corea. Chris Reddings on Unruly Child. Then Mike Ospaw. Chris Reddings also on Ricky Rocket. Donna Turner first on Prince. And then Jim B next on Prince. And then Angela Lewis is on RR. And that might have been something I tossed. RR, whatever it is, Ricky Rocket, that's already done. That's done. And these all have CDs in them. I can tell. I'm pretty good at picking them out. I'm trying to filter those out as fast as possible. Folks, we don't have any time to pause. Let's keep going. There's not even anything to recap. We have Madonna, the Immaculate Collection. Neil Sean, you may know him from Journey, Beyond the Thunder. Another Mariah Carey #1 hits. Classic Queen, a Queen compilation. Speaking of compilation, Bruce Springsteen's greatest hits. Loverboy, big ones. Vital Information with Steve Smith from Journey. Phil Collins' greatest hits. Wow, the best of Warrant. Nice, the best of Warrant. Soraya, that's always a popular one. And Aerosmith, Get a Grip. Aerosmith, Living on the Edge. Aerosmith, those are all $6.99. That's $7 minus a penny. $7 minus a penny. Donna on MC. MC was Mariah Carey. Susie Breedlove on some BS. She wants some BS. That's Bruce Springsteen. And then Chris Frazier on War. And War was for Warrant. And then Avery wants Donna. I don't think that's a claim. And then Stephen Parton got the Phil Collins. And then Clay Moore wants the Soraya. I still don't know how to say that. And then Angela Lewis wants LO. LO, Loverboy. That's so to Angela Lewis. Susie, you were second on Phil Collins and Warrants, and Buddy Cordova got Aerosmith. That left Steve Smith, Queen, Neil Sean, and Madonna. Now, the Immaculate Collection is a Madonna greatest hits. So you get Vogue, and you get Holiday, and you get Material Girl. That is $6.99 on Madonna. Next handful. Holy moly, what is coming up next? We got a stack of CDs right here. And I don't know what they're about to be or what it's about to be or who's it going to be. But I'm about to read them off, and it's your decision if you want them for $6.99 or not. We got Keith Urban, Golden Road. This looks like Santana. No, it's Elton John, The One. That's a great song. Liani, live at the that place in Greece. And then over here, we got Will Smith, Willennium. Got a lot of Matrix stuff going on here. Young MC, Stone Cold Rhythm. Nice, Young MC. Captain Hollywood Project, Love is Not Sex. Interesting. We got Bootsy Bass Volume 4, The Freaking Booty Party. That's what it's called, The Freaking Booty Party. There's more Yanni or Yanny. And then over here, we got the 69 Boys, a Gold Stamp promo. And then we got CNC Music Factory. And yes, this does have the song, Everybody Dance Now, I think. Is it on here? Let's see. Dan, it should be. No, maybe it's not on this one. Wow, their cover, it looks just like that cover. I guess not. As featured in The Office. Okay, Stephen Parton got the Madonna. Susie Breedlove on Elton John, The One. Donna Turner on Young MC. And then we have the 69 Boys, also So to Donna. And CNC Music Factory. I'm thinking about Everybody Dance Now. Bump, bump, bump. I think that's what it's called. Gonna Make You Sweat. Yeah, usually it has Everybody Dance Now in parentheses. I don't guess it's on here. I could have swore that song's on this album. If not, it looks just like this. The cover looks just like this, but I guess not. Maybe it's a little bit different. I know that's their logo, and I know that's who does that song, but it's not on that album. Okay, I just killed that sale. I shouldn't have said anything. Next thing we have is another stack of CDs. We have what? It is John who? It's John Patitucci, Another World. Also, we have Wires and Wood, the Johnny Stats Project. This is Burning for Buddy, a tribute to the music of Buddy Rich. Walter Beasley, For Your Pleasure, getting into some jazz stuff here. Celtic Air by Dordan. And then 4Play 4. Also, Rude's Morgenstein Project. What about Al Di Meola, The Infinite Desire? Take That, Nobody Else. This is the soundtrack to Sing. And a bizarre Night Ranger here. Looks like something homemade. Yeah, Night Ranger 7. Definitely some kind of homemade deal there on that. All right. And then Donna Turner on WB. And Donna Turner WB was for Walter Beasley. That was right here. That was sold. And then Adam Bernardi on the Buddy Rich tribute. That's sold to Adam Bernardi. And then Mary Miles on Al or AL. That's for Al Di Meola. And that was right here, The Infinite Dream. So that stack, a little bit more different stuff there. That has John Patitucci, Another World, the Johnny Status Project, or Stats, S-T-A-A-T-S, Celtic Air, 4Play 4, Rude's Morgenstein Project, Take That, Nobody Else, and Sing and Night Ranger. Those are all available. All right, let's grab another handful out of there. What is going on? Let's grab these right here. All right, some different kind of stuff in here. We got Eric Fernandez. This is all from that same collection, box after box. Eric Fernandez, Magic Gypsy. More Steve Smith, Vital Live. Guitarisma 2, also featuring Neil Sean. A lot of Journey-related stuff right in here. Priceless Jazz Collection, Sampler 4. Toto Tamboo. That's a Toto album. Tamboo. Fish, spelt with an F. That one's called Yin. 1980, 1985, 1980, 1995. That might be a compilation. You Don't Know Jack, Fifth Dementia. Is this a video game? What is this? You Don't Know Jack, rated T for teen. Is this a PC game? I think this is a PC game. You Don't Know Jack. That looks familiar. I remember that from somewhere. And then Fish Yang, AC/DC. That's a DVD, live at Donington. DVD only, The Best of Lou Rawls and the Brothers McMullen. Is Sing, hold on a second. Adam Bernardi says, what's on Sing? And then we had a question, is Sing a kid's movie? Sing is a soundtrack. That is Mickey Thomas, Johnny Kemp, Paul Carrick, Nia Peebles, Michael Bolton, Bill Champlin, Patti LaBelle, Kevin Cronin, of course, of REO Speedwagon, Art Garfunkel, and Lorena Wilkerson. And then Jim B, there's two fish. There's Ying and Yang. There's Yang, and then there's Ying, it looks like. Right? Yin and Yang. And Chris wants both, and Jim wants both. So those are both sold to Jim B. Adam and Susie, or excuse me, Adam or Gina have dibs on the kids Sing, or the Sing soundtrack. And then Buddy Cordova wants the AC/DC DVD. Paul Brothers wants the Jack game. You don't know Jack. And then Chris was next on Fish, and Adam wants the Sing soundtrack. All right, so those are all gone, and now let me grab another handful. And we're almost done with this box, and we're going to get more. And we're going to get more after that. And here is, whoop, I dropped one, but luckily it landed in a crate, not on the floor. I dropped Velivila Josenkowicz, violin for Ann Rice. It's sealed. Brian Savage, Soul Temptation. Buddy Rich, very live at Buddy's place. That's cool. Tony Williams, no artwork. Tony Williams Trio. Billy Cobham, Warning, getting some jazz drummers here. There's Pamela Williams, 8 Days of Ecstasy. There's another jazz sampler, Sampler 3. Paul Winter's Greatest Hits. Pocket Change, Mediterranean Affair, and Nice, out of nowhere. I was about to say, It Feels Light. Jimmy Page and Robert Plant, never mind. No disc. Felt light. It failed the check. No disc. And then here is the last handful in this box. I'm going to go running some more. Morris Day, Color of Success. We got, ladies and gentlemen, the best of George Michael. Nice. A double pack. A triple pack, a double pack. The best of George Michael. Whoa. And then the best of the Rolling Stones, Jump Back, 71 to 83. Best of Lou Rawls, Volume 2. Elvis, no disc. And Rod Stewart, Storyteller, Volume 4, no disc. Okay, so next is, I'll take a Chaz on the jazz samplers. Alrighty, and then Morris is sold to Denise Offendahl. And I know I just said her name wrong. I apologize. Stephen Parton on George Michael. Chris Reddings was second. Let's pull those jazz samplers. There's one for Donna. And then Jim B next on Doris Day. The other jazz sampler, I think, was in this last handful. It was. So she got Volume 3 and Volume 4. There you go. Our second stack of CDs is pretty tall, but I'm going to go ahead and swap out. I'm actually going to put these back in this box so I have a little bit more room on my table and I can see the spines. And actually, I might have time, since we're not too constricted by time tonight. By the way, this is the second feed. The generator died earlier tonight, and I had to start a whole new feed. So we're not really constricted by time, but that means we won't be at a buzzer beater at the end. But that also means I can't stay here all night either. I know y'all want me to. Let me go get another box. I like that one. That had a little bit of variety in it. So very, very cool. Let's step back here and grab some more. We got unlimited CDs, folks. Do y'all realize that wall of CDs we hadn't even touched yet? But let me step back here and get into these other new boxes. Holy moly, look at all this stuff. This is a very interesting box here. I don't know what's going on with it. First, I got to move I got to move a model airplane. I got to move another model airplane. I got to move a speaker. And that's all that just to get to this next box. So this first huge tower I've been going through, they're all gone already. I wonder where Grog is. Because here's some more jazz stuff. Wow, this is a weird looking box too. Looks like a lot of homemade stuff. But then there's random stuff in here like this. Does that have disc in it? Wow, those are great CDs there. What is that right there? That looks good too. And that and that. I'll have to like pick and choose out of there. And then we got a box of cassettes and a box of cassettes. Holy moly, and there's some good ones in here too. I see some 80s. I see some metal. I see some rock. I see some more metal, Skid Row. Those are all cassettes. And then here is our next box of CDs. Let me see what's underneath here. What's underneath here? Trying to find one with some variety. Okay, this has variety, but it is a lot of country too. But there's also a lot of rock. And then there's stuff like Britney Spears. So we might need to grab that one. Let me see what's underneath it. Voice. Okay, let's grab that box. I like this one. It's got some rock. I mean, we're going to have to go through them all eventually, but I'm trying to find the best next box. And I have made a decision, and I'm going with this one. So let me go swap this out, and let's go through it. Hope everybody's ready. I am going to go ahead and take this stack to the operations room. I've been talking this whole time. I hope y'all was able to hear me. I'm back up here now at the front. Back to the front. As featured in Metallica's here. And then the Tony Williams title. That's probably back here in this box, isn't it? Tony Williams. Young at Heart. Tony Williams Trio, Young at Heart. Young at Heart. Okay. So, let's get started. Let me take this right over here. Give Morris Day to Jim B. I changed Morris Day from Denise to Jim B. Jim B just popped some confetti. He's celebrating. All right. What's next? Oh, yeah, CDs. Whatever happened to the high-end CD box, it's right here behind me. It's on a long list of things for me to do. A long, long list. A long, long list. All right, here's what we got. Phil Collins, Dancing to the Light, Gold Stamp promo. We have Kodo, Sasso. Also, we have Little Steven, Voice of America. Little Steven again, Freedom, No Compromise. The End of Violence, Songs from the Motion Picture. We've got Hotel de Love soundtrack. We got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Volume 3 soundtrack. Also have, we got Fonts Pro 3003, more computer software. Lion King, Rhythm of the Pride Lands. Ugly Kid Joe, wow. Menace to Sobriety. And this is the soundtrack to Life. Music by Wyclef Jean, R. Kelly. The soundtrack to Life. Those are all $6.99. Now, we have Tony Williams is sold here. And this is gone and sold to Adam Bernardi. We're back to great CDs here. Everybody paying close attention. Phil Collins sold to Susie Breelove. Donna gets the soundtrack to Life. We got Ugly Kid Joe, Rhythm of the Pride Lands. Computer software for Fonts. We got Ugly Kid Joe sold to Mike Ospaw. We also had the soundtrack to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3. This is the original motion picture soundtrack of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Soundtrack to, boy, I can't get all that out. That's a lot of stuff to try to say really fast. So let me take a breath. And this is the soundtrack to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3. If you don't want to hire them, Paul Brothers does. We got Kodo, Little Steven, Freedom, No Compromise. That's another Little Steven. We have the End of Violence soundtrack, Hotel de Love soundtrack, and then the Lion King related there. All right, there's that. And then over here, we got another handful to go through. So what do we have right over here? Next thing is this, and what is this? This is another Little Steven, and this is called Revolution. Also, Michael Stanley Band, Inside Moves. David and Steve Gordon, Sacred Spirit and Drums. We also have the Eurythmics' Greatest Hits. We have Dirty Dancing. And then we got Basketball, Original Motion Picture Soundtrack. Martha Wash, The Collection, and Will Smith, Will 2K. Those are all $6.99. So that stack left Little Steven, Michael Stanley, Dirty Dancing, the Basketball soundtrack, Martha Wash, The Collection, and Will Smith. All right, next thing I have is another handful of CDs. What could we possibly have in here? Right off the bat. And we have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles sold to Hiram, and he says, please send it to Brandon Lack, a major Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles soundtrack, and collector, I mean. So sell that to Hiram. He wants to pay for it, but send it to Brandon Lack. Hiram Aponte also wants the Basketball. And Susie, there's no Eurythmics here, but I do have Firehouse, self-titled. I do have Firehouse, Good Acoustics. Also, more Little Steven, Born Again, Savage. And then we have Celine Dion. Also, Bum Bar Bastards, 2 Bar some kind of something there. Rat and Roll, that's like a greatest hits of Rat, 81 to 91. This is White Line, the best of. $6.99. We've been selling the vinyl this week. New for music on vinyl, $56.99. Michael Stanley coming up for air. And drum, this is Peter Erskine, History of Drum. These are all $6.99. So you may ask, what was left? A bunch of stuff. Firehouse, Little Steven, Celine Dion, Rat, Tube Bar, White Line, Michael Stanley, and Peter Erskine. And then over here, I did show a Eurythmics CD. I'm being told there is a Eurythmics CD here on the table. Now, if there is one, it hadn't been recently. I got Little Steven, Michael Stanley, Dirty Dancing, Martha Wash. There's none here on the table. It must have been more than 10 minutes ago if I did. So if it is, I'll have to go hunting. There hadn't been one in the last few moments for sure. And then over here we have Angela Lewis on F for Firehouse. Her dibs on those. Little Stevens. There's one Little Steven there. And the other Little Steven was here. And then there's the other Little Steven. And here's the other Little Steven. There's four. There's now 4 Little Stevens. Oh, Eurythmics. Susie, I will sell you the empty case for $6.99. $6.99 if you want the empty case. No disc. Next is, that's what confused me, Angela's dibs on Firehouse. George Burleson dibs on Little Steven. Greg Herman got White Line. There is, I was about to say, where's Leslie Holt too? Buddy Cordova on Rat. And Clay Moore next on Firehouse. Angela second on Rat. And then over here, we still got Celine, Tube Bar, Michael Stanley, and Peter Erskine. Next handful is going up right now. Everybody ready? What is next? These are all $6.99. More Queen. Classic Queen. Neil Sean. Oh, I'm grabbing from the wrong box. That's how good those titles looked. I've already shown them. I can't believe no one got Queen. Let me grab a different stack. Let me grab from some we hadn't already sold. All right, so next over here, we got dibs on Little Steven. Angela's got to let us know on Firehouse. Next thing we have is Waiting to Exhale. That's a soundtrack, Waiting to Exhale. Also, we got Don't Tell Mom, The Babysitter's Dead, another soundtrack. We have the soundtrack to Summer of Sam. That's another soundtrack. There's another Little Steven. Men Without Women. There's another Little Steven. And then here is Winger. And then we have over here, we got Infection Grooves, Sarperius Arc. Wow. And then this is Duran Duran Decade of Greatest Hits and Aerosmith Pump. Those are all $6.99. Angela, can you let me know if you want Firehouse self-titled or Firehouse acoustic? You'll have to say Firehouse self-titled or Firehouse acoustic. I don't know which one's first or which one's second. And then Donna on Wait and Waiting to Excel. So to Donna, she says, which one's showing? Now I've swapped them. I forgot. I'm assuming this one then. So Donna wants good acoustics, and that means Firehouse self-titled's available if anybody wants it. And then Greg Herman says don't. And that was for Don't Tell the Babysitter. And then Leslie was next on Waiting. John Durden first on Duran Duran, then Stephen Parton, then Leslie. Jerry Rock on Aerosmith Pump, then Susie Breedlove. So that leaves soundtrack to Summer of Sam, Little Steven, Winger, and Infectious Grooves. And MT Matt wants Infectious Grooves. And George Burleson gets these 4 Little Stevens. I usually don't do this, but I'll do a bundle for $20. I try to keep these $6.99 across the board, but I'll do it that one time. Sometimes I bundle, sometimes I don't. Let's go ahead and grab some more CDs, though, very quickly. These are all $6.99. The first one I have here is what? The Hunter soundtrack, music by Kudu, the all-time greatest movie songs. That's a compilation. Nice, the Shocker soundtrack. That's very popular. Leap of Faith soundtrack. What about the Best Man soundtrack? Looks like some R&B stuff on there, Donna. The Lion King soundtrack, that's nice. Wow, the Youngblood soundtrack. And then we have the Crow soundtrack. Whoa, and then we got the Bodyguard soundtrack. Whoa, that's one of like the biggest albums of all time. Next thing we have was Aerosmith Pump was sold to Jerry Rock and then Susie Breedlove. MT Matt on Grooves. Angela was next on Duran Duran. Angela, you did get Firehouse Acoustic and Chris Frazier on SH. SH for Shocker, right? Chris Frazier got Shocker, and then Donna Turner got Best Man, so did Donna. Mike was next on Shocker. Donna got the Bodyguard soundtrack. Robert Warner got the Lion King soundtrack. Jim B next on Shocker. Stephen Parton on the Crow soundtrack. Chris Frazier next on the Crow soundtrack. Hiram next on the Crow soundtrack. Leslie next on the Crow soundtrack. Buddy Cordova next on Shocker. And then we have Kudu the Hunted. We have the all-time greatest movie songs, Leap of Faith, and Youngblood soundtrack. Youngblood still available. These are all $6.99. Next handful's coming at you right now. Hope everybody's quickly and equipped and prepared for what's about to happen. You're about to see more CDs. The first one is One World, One Voice. This is various artists, One World, One Voice. This is Pret a Porter. That is a music soundtrack. Once again, sealed. U2, Salt and Pepper, Rolling Stones. Nice. Xanadu. I bet that one's good. CC Winans. We got Paul Likaakis. Notorious B.I.G. Biggie. Sheila. Friends, compilation from Friends, the TV show. That's sometimes available on vinyl. $6.99. Angela, you're next on Crow. And just so you know, Angela, your connection has gotten very far behind. George Burleson says he'll take the other two, Little Steven, as well. Those are right over here. Nobody got Winger. These are sold to George Burleson, $6.99, $6.99. Leslie Holt first on Xanadu. Leslie Holt first on Xanadu. Donna Turner next on Biggie, sold to Donna. Jim B was next. That stack left the One World, One Voice, Pret Porter, CC Winans, Paul Lecakula something, and then Sheila E. and Friends. Regina Tabor is all over Friends. Rest in peace to that one dude. What was his name? Him. Died what, last year? Wow. Okay, next handful going up right now. I have the following. Looks like we got some more big cool soundtracks coming. But what is right here? The first thing we have is what? We got soundtrack from The Insider, sealed with hop sticker, an Al Pacino film. The Animal House soundtrack, nice. Dracula soundtrack, nice. Sealed, Why Do Fools Fall in Love, nice. What about Small Soldiers, music from the motion picture? Wow, that's cool. And then the 60s, the original NBC motion picture soundtrack. You know that's going to have some good stuff on it. The Hollywood soundtracks, great songs from this year's hottest movies. Nice. What about the Last of the Mohicans soundtrack? Trevor Jones, that's cool. What about music from the motion picture Gladiator? And wow, what about Quest for Camelot soundtrack? Wow, some cool stuff in there. Those are all $6.99 each. If you're tuning in, thanks for watching Late Night with Coletco with Chad selling CDs. John Durden on Animal House, so to John Durden. Donna was next on Fools Fall in Love, so to Donna Turner. Greg was next on Small Soldiers. You get it, Greg. And then Ada Bernardi gets the 60s. Susie next on Animal House. Greg Herman on Camelot. Those are all sold. What's left? Gladiator, Last of the Mohicans, Hollywood soundtrack, Bram Stoker's Dracula, and that is music by, let's see. No, I was thinking about Francis Ford Coppola. Music, the film is a Francis Ford Coppola film. Nicholas Hostler on LOTM, Last of the Mohicans. And Greg Banger next on Animal. Leslie Holt on Dracula. Thank you, Leslie. Gladiator. At first I was like, boy, I don't remember that. Well, first of all, I was making sure that wasn't... At first glance, it looks like Val Kilmer, but it's not. And then this has music by Wart. Cheap Trick is on here. Third Base. Just saying. But that's not the Gladiator I was thinking of when I seen the spine when I grabbed out of this box. Okay, moving right along. Wow, some cool soundtracks coming up. I have never seen so many CD soundtracks all together. Here's Aladdin. Walt Disney's Aladdin. Godzilla, the album. I think that has some great stuff on it. Yeah, Wallflowers, Puff Daddy, Jamiroquai, Feels on here, Green Day, Silverchair, Navy SEAL soundtrack. Look at that lineup. Mr. Big, Bon Jovi, Lou Graham. Our Friend Martin soundtrack. That looks interesting. Whoa, it's Chef Aid from South Park. Holy moly, 9 months. That's music by Hans Zimmer. And then we have the Safarina soundtrack. This is Me, Myself, and Irene. That is a soundtrack, no artwork, but Foo Fighters, Smash Mouth, wow. And there's the Big Lebowski. Big Lebowski is sealed? No? Well, yeah, this has never been opened. It's not in shrink, though. Big Lebowski. Wow, that was a great run there. Probably all these are sold. Let's go back to the top and see what happened. The first new comment was Susie on Gladiators. Susie got Gladiator. And then after that, let me pause because my stack here has gotten really tall and I'm going to run out of room. And let me go ahead and take these over here to the operations center. This is our third full stack. Let's try to do one more before I call it quits tonight. So I don't know where we'll be at far as a box, but I am saying I'm wanting to do one more sold stack. One more sold stack of CDs before I'm going to say quits tonight. And we've sold 3, so it doesn't matter to me the time or where we're at in the box. It matters how many we sell. One more tower over here. I'll know my stopping point because normally the Facebook feed would be ending right now, but we're at an advantage. We got extra time because we started a new feed. The first thing was Hiram on Godzilla. Hiram got Godzilla. And then Leslie Holt got AL for Aladdin. And then Susie next on Godzilla. Leslie first on SP for South Park. Then Greg Herman. Stephen Parton on Lebowski. John next on South Park. Guy Shard wants the Hans Zimmer. Awesome. That sold to Guy Shard 9 months. And then the Safarine sold to Mary Miles. And then the next thing is here. We got Navy SEALs, Our Friend Martin, and Me, Myself, and Irene. So all those are still available. Next handful coming at you right now. Hope y'all are ready. We have 2 more handfuls left in this box, and we'll probably have to get a new one started to get my sales goal done. But here's White Line. Interesting. Little Fighter. I don't recall seeing that one before. Dragon, the Bruce Lee soundtrack. Music by Randy Edelman. This is Rapa Nui, music from the motion picture. We have Wild Wild West. I remember that movie. Has a promo sticker on the front. Wild Wild West. Bruce Deuce Bigelow, male gigolo. How about a very cool Yule Christmas music? And there's Titanic. James Horner, Celine Dion, Titanic. $6.99. That's some great score music too, Titanic. And then let's go ahead and do one more quick handful here. I'm going to split the last handful in 2. We got the Elite Hackers Toolkit, Volume 1. 32-bit hacking cracking tools, Underground Inc. What in the world? And then we have Scan Office. We got some pirated software here. We got Runaway Bride, Julia Roberts, Richard Gere, Whitesnake, Slip of the Tongue, and War Child. And that is self-titled. These are all $6.99. Now, over here, the first thing is Hiram Aponte on Dragon. That is sold to Hiram Aponte. And then Jim B on White Line. And then Susie wants WWW, Wild Wild West. Angela on WL. I'm assuming that was for Wild West. Leslie on Yule. And then Susie on Titanic. That is sold to Susie. And then that left War Child with Chris Riddings. And now the following stack has Rapa Nui, Bruce Deuce Bigelow, Male Gigolo, Hackers Toolkit, Scan Office, Runaway Bride, and Whitesnake, Slip of the Tongue. All right, I'm going to put these over here behind me before we have a disaster of a spiel. And if you want anything out of there, let me know. Those are all right there. And now here is our next handful coming at you right now. First thing is what? It is Varsity Blues soundtrack. Oh, nice. The Dumb and Dumber soundtrack, a promo sticker. Fiddler on the Roof, that's cool. Armageddon, that has some great music on it. Armageddon, Aerosmith, Journey, Bon Jovi. School Day soundtrack. And then here's a single from Aerosmith, I Don't Want to Miss a Thing, from the movie Armageddon. Those are all $6.99. What a great box that was, eh? Let's go get another one because we got to get another one to get to our sold 4 stack. Let's try to sell 4 stacks of CDs every night. That would be great. That would be fantastic. Stephen Parton on VB for Varsity Blues. And then John Darden on SD. And SD was for School Days. And then Susie was first on Armageddon. And then Nicholas next on School Days. So, Dumb and Dumber. I don't remember some of the songs on that. Crash Test Dummies. I just know it's a great movie. Dead-Eye Dick, The Primitives. I don't remember a lot of music on that. But there it is. All right, let me go get another box. And I'm going to go ahead and toss this one. So we've been through these trays I'm going through. That was 1, 2, 3. We're about to start our 4th one. So maybe 4 trays equal, on average, 4 sold stacks. We might not finish this next box, but we're going to try. We can't keep everybody up too late. Y'all got to be real rested to do this tomorrow. By now, we would have already been stopped. But look what happens. Y'all got me into a new feed, and now we're getting into a new box. This is what happens. This is what happens. Y'all get me into a new box, and this is what happens. Oh, man, look at these coming up. Holy moly. Hope y'all ready for this kind of stuff. Goodness gracious. Let me hold this over my head. Oh, my gosh. Holy moly. Holy goodness. Goodness gracious. Here we are. Here you are. Here I am. Oh boy. Living on the edge. So Angela said, flipping internet. Angela's going to be in Sunday school praying for better internet next week. All right, so here we go. What do we have here? Oh, wow, boy. Here we go. Let's go right for the meat right off the bat. All right, so first thing we have is boom, boom, boom. Okay, we got right here, Tori Amos, song from the Choir Girl Hotel with Gold Stamp promo. Y&T, Yesterday and Today Live. Y&T, Endangered Species. Y&T 10. Y&T Best Of. That is crazy. XYZ Hungry. That's hundreds of dollars on vinyl. XYZ Self-Titled. We'll have one of those Thursday night. Steve Winwood, Junction 7 and Winger Pool. Holy moly. Holy moly. That was a good pull of CDs there, especially if you're into 80s rock and metal. We got Mary Miles on Tori Amos. Leslie was next. Chris, you got lucky with dibs on Y&T. You have Y&T, 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 and Y&T. Chris, you got dibs. Guy Shard was third on Tori Amos. Chris, you got dibs on XYZ. Your pick on either one. And then Jim B's next on XYZ. Mary Miles wants Steve Winwood. And that just leaves poor old Winger Pool. So we got pending and we have pending on everything there. We're about to see what happens. And then Y&T is pending to Chris. And XYZ is pending to Chris. He might do a clean sweep and take all 6. He would probably be best to do so. But it's up to him. And then we'll go down the line. We'll go down the line. Let me see what else I have here. Let me take a look in this box. We might can mix it up with some genres here. And let's grab this one right here. And if we sell all those, that will be a big jump in our stack here. First, though, so Winger's pending. Let's go ahead. So are all these. Chris has dibs on everything. And hopefully he'll say, I'll take them all. That will speed up things. But here is Peachtree. This don't feel right, but it does have a disc in it. Incense. We got Glass Tiger. This is called Simple Mission. We got All 41, The World's Best Hope. Revolution Saints, Light in the Dark. Robin McCauley, Standing on the Edge. Kimball Jameson. Jeff Tate, Kings and Thieves, I know him. And then Randy Jackson's China Rain, Bed of Nails. James Labrie, Elements of Persuasion. And there it is, folks. Asia Alpha. Chris wants all Y&Ts and all XYZs. He got the end of the alphabet there. 2, 4, 6 CDs. All sold to Chris Riddings. Wow. Those are all gone. We got Jeff Tate sold to Clay Moore. That's Jeff Tate. He was in a band called Queens Rock. That's sold to Clay Moore. Chris Riddings is next. And that left Peachtree, Glass Tiger, All 41, Revolution Saints, Robin McCauley, Kimball Jameson, Randy Jackson, James Labrie, and Asia Alpha. Now Angela Lewis wants RS, and she wants RM. RS and RS. RM was Robin McCauley, And I'm assuming RS was a miscue. If so, just let me know. But I do have you down for Robin McCauley. There's that stack of CDs. Let's go ahead and grab another stack of CDs. And this stack of CDs has what? I don't know. Let's grab this stack right here. We got Jean Bouvier, Jackknifed. Also, I have a ticket stub of who? Born and raised on rock and roll, Buku. Wow, a ticket stub from Buku. How deep cut is that? There's the Beach Boys made in the USA. Here is Basile, B-A-S-I-L-E, Unleashed. Bad News. There you go, Angela. I don't know if that's what you're looking for or not. Those dudes look a little bit more questionable. Is that what Angela's into? That's a little questionable to me. What is going on there? That's bad news. That is bad news. Here's Autograph, Missing Pieces. Here's Autograph, Loud and Clear. Autograph, Sign in Peace. We got what? Paul Anka and Afra Haza, Freedom of the World, no artwork. And this is Engun, Snow on the Sahara. Wow. I bet RS Revolution Saints. RS is Revolution Saints. That's also sold here to Angela Lewis. Revolution Saints sold to Angela Lewis. That is sold and that's sold. And then over here, okay, first thing we have is, all right, Revolution Saints, and Clay Moore wants Glass Tiger. All right, so Clay Moore got Glass Tiger as well. That's sold to Clay Moore. And then RS is Revolution Saints. Chris Riddings on Bo, that's the one with the Buku. That is sold. And then before that, I ordered something from Australia in May. Can you please look into it, Matthew Bird? Just stay on the line, okay? Don't hang up. Stay on the line. Don't hang up. Stay right here with me, okay? Jim B on Bad News. Angela's going to get some bad news because that goes to Jim B. And then Angela was next, and then Jerry Rock, and then Clay Moore on Autograph. And Clay Moore, you've got dibs on 3 autographs. And then Angela Lewis was next on Autograph. And then Chris is next on Autograph. Guy Shard gets Engun. Thank you, Guy Shard. That's so to you. And then Bad News was the British version of Spinal Tap, but Bad News came first. Give Bad News to Angela. I claimed to make sure she would get it. Well, now she don't even want it, unless she does want it. If not, it goes to Jerry Rock. So I guess we need to give it to Jerry Rock unless Jim B wants it. And then Autograph is pinned to Clay Moore. Okay? And Bad News got me on an album before they were horrible. I did a putback. Okay, we got Jean Bouvier, the Beach Boys, Basile, and Paul Anka there. Okay, there's that. Matthew Bird, don't leave the chat, okay? Because here in a minute, I'm going to have to check into this. Right now, we are in full mode, CD mode. We are right now closing in on where I want to be before the show's over. We might have 2 more big handfuls. I don't know yet, but we could have 2 more big handfuls. I don't know yet. We're about to find out. This double pack will free up a lot of space. Let's see what's going on with this. All right, so sorry I have to go, my bad. Our Humble Wonder. Is that the person who said that? Our Humble Wonder. Can you stay 5 minutes? Where are you in Australia right now? What time is it? Surely you're not at work. We have Pat Benatar, the very best of Pat Benatar. We have Voodoo X, Volume 1, The Awakening. Also, we got Over the Edge featuring Mickey Thomas. This is 7th Crystal, Delirium. Interesting looking stuff here. 2 Fires, Ignition. Also here we have Valentine, Demos from the Attic. Valentine. How about Shadows Fade? Self-titled. What about Alias? Alias, Never Say Never. We have Sheriff. Sheriff self-titled. We have Still Alive, Say No More, Japanese Boy. This looks like something that would sell for $3,000. Say No More, Still Alive. That looks like an $8,000 CD. And then we got Ted Poley, Beyond the Fade. Look like we're into some expensive stuff here. Tokyo Motor Fist. Tokyo Motor Fist. This looks like some $400 and $500 CDs here. So let's go back, first of all, to Bad News. This goes to Jerry Rock. Okay, this goes to Jerry Rock. He also passes. All of a sudden, nobody wants Bad News. Nobody's getting Bad News. I am putting it back. Angela says it sucks and she doesn't want it, and now nobody wants it. Angela, you just cost me a sale. And then Clay Moore got all 3 autographs. That's sold to Clay Moore. And then Leslie Holt on PB for Pat Benatar. Leslie Holt on Pat Benatar. That's sold to Leslie Holt. Regina was next. Chris Ridling's on Valentine. That is sold to Chris Riddings. Chris Riddings also got Alias. And then the next comment is Angela Lewis on Over the Edge, sold to Angela Lewis. And then Chris Riddings on Stilla, Stilla, Still Alive, sold to Chris Riddings. Jim B was next. I knew it. That looked like a $10,000 CD. Angela Lewis was next on Valentine. Angela Lewis on SF. That's Shadows Fade. Right? And then Chris put TMF. TMF is Tokyo Motor Fist. That's sold to Chris Riddings. And then Angela Lewis on SA. And that could be for, I don't know. And then Jim B next on Tokyo Fist. And then we have Still Alive as a steal at $6.99. I had a feeling it was. Has that already been claimed? Yeah, what is that, like a $3,000 CD? I can just look at something and say, yes, this is a absolute great CD. Okay, and then is it too late to pass on Pump from Aerosmith? Oh boy. And then Phantom says, bad news, a.k.a. the Youngins. Now, Angela Lewis, if you want Shadows Fade, say sold. If not, then we still got Voodoo, Volume 1, The Awakening. We also have Crystal, 7th Crystal Delirium. We also have Two Fires Ignition. We got Sheriff. That is from late 82. Yeah, Sheriff. And then Ted Poley, Beyond the Fade. Okay, and then we have a putback. Jerry Rock wants to pass on Pump from Aerosmith. If I can find it, I'll put it back. If not, then we got a problem. Let me see if I can find it over here. If I can find it, I'll put it back. If not, then it may be a point of no return. I don't think it's in this stack. I think it's in a stack. I think it's from a previous stack, yeah. I think it's from a previous stack. Okay, and then Angela doesn't want Shadows Fade. 100 on Discogs. Oh yeah, I figured so. Jim B right now is, Jim B has his fist just pounding on his desk, cursing his internet connection. And now I'm going to take this stack of sold. Folks, that was the 4th. That was where we needed to get. That stack is our 4th full stack. We're done. Now, what I'm going to do is get to a stopping point in this box. So let me try to show a few more here. Let me try to get to a stopping point in this box. But that really filled up there. So that's done. And now let me figure out who is still left and what we can do, okay? Jim B beating on his desk. There went his son is not going to be getting a new pair of shoes this week as promised. No new shoes today, son. Unfortunately, our crappy internet checked out, and I didn't get that Japanese CD so I could flip it on Discogs. So, looks like we're eating ramen, and it looks like you're wearing your old Reeboks for a couple more weeks. Sorry, son. Okay. So, here's what we're going to do. I have one whole row left in this box. Should we finish the box? Should we finish the box? Yes, let's finish the box. Let's do it. As what his name said, F it, we'll do it live. We'll do it live. Here we go. Bill O'Reilly. All right, we got one whole row. Let's keep going. This is why I have to stop after 8 hours. I get this like adrenaline rush. Alien self-titled. We got whoa, Alice in Chains Bank Heist. What in the world? That's from a box set. That's it's a sampler from a box. Tori Amos retrospective. Mark Anthony. Mark Anthony, the B-52s, Rome, B-Tribe, The Babies Anthology, Bad Company, self-titled. What in the world? Never seen that. Bad Company of Strangers. Never seen that. Bad Company, Here Comes Trouble. That's rare on vinyl. Bad Company, Stories Untold. Bad English. Bad English. Holy moly. Maybe we should keep going. First thing we have is Stephen Parton on Alice in Chains, Bank Heist. Holy moly. That's sold to Stephen Parton. John Darden was second. Jim B was third. Leslie was fourth. Leslie first on Tori Amos. Guy Shard was second. And then Stephen Parton on the B-52s. Sold. Next thing I have over here is what? We have Alien, Mark Anthony. We have B-Tribe, The Babies, Bad Company, Bad Company, Bad Company, Bad Company, and Bad English. Mike, you got dibs on both Bad English. Angela, you got dibs on 1, 2, 3, 4 Bad Companies. There we have it. And then we got Alien, Mark Anthony, B-Tribe. Let's grab another stack. Next stack coming at you right now. And this is Air Supply. We got Air Supply's Greatest Hits. This looks like Rob Zombie. It is American-made music. Neil Zaza, Sing. Neil Zaza. I don't know if I've ever seen a Frank Zappa CD. I don't think ever since I've been selling anything music related, I've ever seen a Zappa CD in my life. I don't know why I think that, but I don't think I ever have. Yael Naim. We have Moist Creature. Maloney, Satisfaction. How about Sebastian from The Little Mermaid? We got Celine Dion, One Heart. Nice. The ultimate Barry Manilow. Folks, there he is. The ultimate Barry Manilow. So we got Mike Ospaw, dibs on Bad English. We got Angela Lewis, dibs on Bad Company. And then first in this pack is Stephen Parton on Rob Zombie. And then we got Romelu on Air Supply. Leslie next on Rob Zombie. Chris Riddings on Neil. And that was Neil Zaza. And then Mike wants the one in the front. This Bad English. So Angela, you still got dibs on Bad English. And you still got dibs on all the Bad Companies. And then next is Avery on Zappa. I knew somebody was going to grab that. For some reason, I just think I've never seen a Frank Zappa CD. And then Romelu on Barry. Barry Manilow. We hadn't seen one yet since we've been flipping through these the last month. I haven't seen one yet. Let's go ahead and do another handful. Holy moly, what do we have here? Oh man, this looks like some interesting stuff here. But first, let's grab this handful and keep the train going to keep a rolling. And then who was Yael? And then we have Guy Wants Yael. And then can you show the Bad Companies again? First we have though Major in Music. Play this, some sort of Columbia deal. Cio Mondo, C-I-A-O, or Chow. Isn't that may be pronounced Chow. Chow Mondo. There's another Sheriff CD. Alias, self-titled. Eddie Money, Shaking with the Money Man. This is A Date with Elvis. I've never seen that on CD either. Night Ranger, 7 Wishes. We also have who? Belladonna, Spells of Fear. And we have Andrew Donalds. Bad English is sold to Angela Lewis. She wants Bad Company, a recap. This is Bad Company self-titled, which I didn't know existed. Well, actually, you know what? There is a Bad Company self-titled, but that's Bad Company self-titled. You know, what is this one called? Bad Company, that's their first album. This is called How About That? Bad Company, How About That? Bad Company, Stories Untold. Bad Company, Here Comes Trouble. And Bad Company, Company of Strangers, okay? The first comment is Leslie on E, and Leslie was E. Hold on a second. I got one more thing. Adam Bernardi says, who was Yael? And then Guy Shard claimed Yael Naim. So Adam, if you want this, it's so do you. It's Yael Naim. It is, and David Donatin. That is Adam Bernardi's, if not Guy Shard's. Okay, then Leslie on E for Elvis. Or E for Eddie Money. Leslie, let me know. If not, Leslie's next on Eddie Money. The Alien one was right here. What was that? Alien? Alien. Hiram, it's just called Alien, self-titled. Alien, self-titled. Alien. Self-titled. Virgin Records, 1988, 1989. Okay, so the next comment is Angela on AL, and that is for Alias. That is sold to Angela Lewis. Okay, and then Leslie got Elvis. Susie Breedlove got Eddie Money. All 4 bad companies are sold to Angela Lewis. And then Yael is pending to Adam or then Guy Shard, okay? Major in music, Chow Mondo, Sheriff, Night Ranger, Belladonna, and Andrew Donald's still available. And then over here, I have one more handful. One more handful to do, okay? So, Guy Shard, you do get Yael. That is sold to Guy Shard. He's passing. And then we have Modern Drummer Festival. Modern Drummer Festival. We have Cletus T. Judd. Did I shave my back for this? We got Ann Nestle, a tribute to Aerosmith, Hollywood Underground, Medusa, Annie Lennox Diva. We have Mull Moser, Keep It to Yourself, and Freddie Curry, Then and Now. Leslie says, let Regina Tabor have it, okay? Who was she next? Regina was next. All right, so sell Elvis to Regina Tabor instead of Leslie Holt. So, Regina, you do get a date with Elvis. Congratulations. Regina would love to go on a date with Elvis. Well, if he was still alive and maybe during his prime. I don't know if you want to go on a date with him right now. And then we have what Claymore says it is. It is the Swedish Alien. And then what is in here? This is Cletus T. Judd. And, oh, wait a minute. We still had right here. We have Freddie Curie, Mull Moser, and then Alien is sold to Hiram Aponte. And then what else do we have here? Angela on HU, and that was for Hollywood Underground. That is sold to Angela Lewis. Okay. Fantastic. Fantastic. Do I have any stray CDs around here? Do I have any stray CDs? Why is this one laying over here? Is this some stuff Paul showed the other night? Here's some more stuff right here. Give me 1 second. Is this possibly, did he, well, I guess this is the tub. Probably at some point we might flip through all the stuff that that Paul showed on Sunday, if y'all wasn't watching. Here's a random handful here. These look like pretty good CDs too. We got Eyes. They're in slip cases. That tells me they're good. Eyes. Michael Stanley Band live at the Ritz, New York. Revolution Saints and Another Alias, and that one's also on a sleeve. Those are all $6.99. Man, I wish I could almost read through all these again. We just probably don't need to, but gosh, there's so many great CDs still left. Chris Redding's First on Eyes. That looks like a good one. That is sold to Chris Reddings. And then Jim B wanted the title. And we got Alias. We got Michael Stanley Band. And then Revolution Saints and Alias again. We've took this thing all the way to 2 a.m. tonight. Holy moly. Holy moly. So we've been going for 8.5 hours. 8.5 hours tonight. Oh my gosh. And I know if I said right now, let's go get another box, y'all would say, yes, Chad, let's do it. But we got to find a stopping point. Chad has had, since I've woke up today about 3:30, I've had an apple and about a half a jar of peanut butter. A small jar, like a little tiny jar. I've had an apple and a peanut butter. I'm about to go eat a roast beef sandwich with Swiss cheese and mayonnaise on fresh bread. I'm going to eat some crab chips with a Diet Coke. And Chad is going to get ready for tomorrow. This is going to be a crazy week. Wait till the ad hits tomorrow. Donna's still here. Donna, I thought you fell asleep. Donna's still here. Jim B wants Michael Stanley. Auction for Taylor Swift. Guy, what I'm going to do is, can you watch on Wednesday? I'm going to try to slip in autographs on Wednesday. I've got some albums, and you've convinced me to maybe go ahead and sell that. I'm just going to have to let you know I'm probably going to sell it during a stream so everybody gets a fair chance. I got to keep it fair. As you know, we don't pre-sell anything early to anybody. I keep it fair across the board. But let's shoot for Wednesday during prime time, okay? So we'll say Wednesday at 7 or 8 o'clock Central Time. And I will go ahead and lay out a stipulation. I'm selling you an unauthenticated Taylor Swift CD, but it's good. It's good to go. So guy wants me to sell it to him without proper authentication. So it's sealed. It's obviously good, but there it is. Think about that. Taylor held that and signed it. Wow. Holy moly. So tune in Wednesday, prime time. Auction estimate, I don't know. You never know about something like this. I don't know where it'll end up. But obviously it's good. It's sealed. It's Alias is sold to Clay Moore. If y'all are in the group, hey, this batch here is dang good enough. I might line all these up and snap some pictures and post all these in the group. There's some dang good CDs left behind here, so Guy will definitely be watching. Who knows on that? I still hadn't reached out. Well, I kind of have. I had to reach out to my autograph guy on some other stuff. And what I'll do is I still need to ask him about other Taylor Swift stuff he has. I don't think he wants to sell it. I doubt it. But he's a friend. He's a businessman, but he's also a very serious collector. I bet he has enough Taylor Swift stuff he could sell and retire on. I just seen somebody in a group have an early signature. An early Taylor Swift signature. She drew a little doodle. And people were really like, man, that is like, there's no telling what that would bring on eBay. I tried to buy it from the guy, but somebody already DM'd him and sold it. Some of the stuff, you got to be fast, man. You got to be living on Marketplace. I'll find really something that's authentic and real, and somebody be asking a fair price. I'll message them on Marketplace. I'm like, hey, I own a collectible store in Lebanon. I'm legit. I'm interested in this. And I'll get a reply about 20 minutes later. Sorry, 7 people ahead of you. And I'll be like, it's been up for 20 seconds. That's how many people on Marketplace is constantly trying to grab stuff people are posting. And then there'll be something on there for a while, and I'll say, hey, I've been looking at this for a couple of days. I'm interested. I want to know if you want to take any less. And people will be like, sorry, somebody's coming today to get it. So no recap. I got to stop the sale. I got to stop the show, Uncle Leo. Stop the show. I got to stop. Leslie, I might take pictures of the spines and post these, but we are finished for tonight. Thank y'all as always. It's going to be a great week tomorrow. Guess what? We got box after box after box after box of box and box and box of CDs to go through. Don't go anywhere. Thank y'all for watching. See y'all tomorrow, 5:30. If you want to say goodnight, here's the time to do it. I'm signing off. My name's Chad, owner and proprietor here at CollectCo. Thank you. I have got to eat. I got to clean up. I've got to get ready. I have to brush my teeth. I've got to take a shower. I have that respond to. Oh, sometimes they don't do that either. I'm just glad for once I'm saying goodnight to the Facebook people. Usually by the time y'all all went to bed or the feeds ended, and we're actually getting to say goodnight to the Facebook people for once. Thank y'all. See y'all later. I'm hitting the button as soon as I can get my cursor working. There it is. Thank you, Guy. I'll see you on Wednesday. Get ready to